against the light, never-ending fight. Blood trails in the night, murder's mob in sight. Oh, oh, microtransactions bleed, players feed their greed, corporate twisted creed, evil takes the lead. Evil takes the lead. Horror gives them light, metal engines bite, blood trails in the night, murder's mob in sight. Horror gives them light, never-ending fight, screaming through the night, brutal, dark inside, dark inside.
Hello there. Right, so as hopefully everyone can see from the old stream, we are currently obviously doing the killer tier list and the killer map tier list as well. But we'll start off with the killers because that's going to take the majority of the time.
Oh,
anyway. So yes, so well, we'll start off with the man of DBD, the face, the actual cover of Dead by Daylight,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
which is Evan, I think his actual name is.
Yeah, Evan McMillan.
That's the one. Yeah.
Mhm.
So poor Trapper, he doesn't get any love at all. does he?
No, like you said, he's the face of Dead by Daylight.
Mhm.
But he's obviously arguably one of the worst killers in this game. And that's been for
100%.
like 8 years now.
Yeah.
Literally for 8 years, he's been like the worst killer. Just the simple fact that you got to go and pick your power up. I know
Yeah.
other killers got to do similar, but they don't literally have to walk across a map to
Mhm.
go and pick that power up. Why he can't start with these traps, I have no idea. Like Hag starts with her traps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Skull Merchant starts with her drones. You know what I mean? So why can't he? Like, why can't the Trapper start with his power?
Yeah, it would be nice. There's nothing worse as well when you go onto like a quite a big open map, and you have the majority of your traps in the center, but then you get the odd 3 or 4 just scattered right across the
Yeah.
edge. There's nothing worse.
Well, that's the thing. You can't use them, can you? That's the main thing. Like, because again, you don't want to walk all the way across to pick them up, and all the gens are on the other side.
Yeah,
Because then you're just wasting time. Because then you end up using 3 or 4 traps instead of all of them.
yeah. Well, apparently people cannot hear me for some reason. That is not good. Let me just amend this.
I can hear you, so.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. As long as it's coming through. As long as it's coming through your end.
Yeah,
That's
so I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, that's fine.
Please bear with where we have technical issues.
It was working just now. Right, hopefully this should work now. There we go. That looks like it's working now. Right, there we go. So, obviously, just for the people that's watching, we're currently just going to stick the killers in the, in S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier, and then we'll mix and match them then to form the correspondence in that certain tier.
We'll put them in order after we put them in the tiers.
Exactly.
And we're basing this off as well on going against like good survivors, not
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
average
So
because every killer's S tier because even people DC against Trapper. So
yeah. So we're not basing it off add-ons. We're not basing it off perks. Nothing. It's just the killer and their power. That's the only thing we're basing it off.
yeah,
So would you agree then, Metal, that unfortunately Evan McMillan needs to go in D tier?
yeah, that's his home.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be there probably ever. So, and even
Yeah.
at best, even though he starts with his power, I mean, he probably wouldn't get out D tier.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't get out of it.
I think no, I don't. I still don't think he would get out with D tier. I don't know because he would need a full rework.
Yeah, it would need something like maybe making Holding Stone base kit or something to even like,
Yeah.
push him up. But even then, that's I wouldn't say it's crazy, but it will make him definitely stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, a lot of people won't like it because Holding Stone is probably one of his best add-ons.
Yeah.
And if you made that base kit, a lot of people probably will moan about it.
Yeah. Well, people moan about anything these days. So, right. So we've got our main man Philip, Wraith.
Wraith.
He's got one of the not the saddest backstory, but it's one of them.
Yeah.
So what's your sort of opinion on Wraith?
Wraith is quite add-on dependent. Like
Mm-hmm.
you really need Swift Hunt. Like you need Swift Hunt. Then you can mix the other one with Windstorm, Shadow Dance, anything like that. But Swift Hunt is like a must because it almost guarantees a hit if you uncloak behind someone.
Yeah.
And as well, look, you can body block windows, pallets, but also his father knows how to sort of hold your hostage out of pallet. So when you do the uncloaking, and if they do it right, baiting your uncloak out. But overall, I'd probably say, I'll say C tier.
Yeah, would you? Yeah, no, I agree. He does have decent map pressure because you can get around relatively quickly.
I mean, you can get across the map in seconds.
Yeah, but no, I completely agree. So I'll stick him in C tier now. Why is? Oh Jesus! There we go. Right. Billy. Now, everybody loves going up against a Billy. It might from what I've experienced, everyone loves to go up against a Billy. Again, you can get across the map incredibly quick. And also he has that the ability to instantly down someone as well. And with Billy as well, he does have quite a high skill ceiling as well.
Probably not as much as he used to, because obviously a while ago he was one of the hardest killers to play. But ever since they sort of changed the collisions a lot on most of the maps and all that, like curving's a lot easier than it used to be. Don't get me wrong, it's still a little bit difficult, but it's a lot more forgiven now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I can remember, I landed my first curve on console, and it was on RPD, and it was one of the best feelings ever. But geez, was it difficult, especially on a controller?
Yeah, because as well, like when Garden Joy first ever come out, and the hitboxes of the bushes were so big, like killers like Huntress, Billy, Bubba really suffered with that as well, because you couldn't literally go anywhere near close to a bush because the hitbox was so big.
And even some it is a lot more lenient than it used to be in regards to the hitboxes, but still the hitboxes, some of them are ridiculous. And sometimes you don't even have to physically hit it. Like yesterday in my stream, it was on Backwater Swamp, and I kept getting caught on this tiny little lip, but it was enough to make me stop moving. I was like, it wouldn't make sense, but anyway. No, Billy for me is incredibly strong.
I mean, he's got insane map pressure, one shot downs, and again, he's not that much harder to learn now than he was a few years ago when they changed him. And he's incredibly strong. And the cooldown of chainsaw was literally not there.
Yeah. So, and the overheat mechanic, I don't even think there is one. I haven't seen it.
It's still the same mechanic where he speeds up.
Yeah.
So like because obviously before it lasted ages, now it actually goes down a lot quicker. But if you can manage that, even without it, Billy's still fairly strong.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably put him in S tier. I'll say Billy's probably S tier.
Yeah. I would say personally, I agree to a certain extent. Obviously, we'll come towards when we have to sort of figure out exactly where in the tier they fit. But I'm leaning high A, low S. I would say
I will say, no, Billy's probably one of the few killers that don't really need add-ons.
that's true. Actually, yeah, that is true.
I know you got engravens, and it's always good having engravens, but you can perform with Billy immensely without any add-ons, really.
And
But
no perks really as well, because again you have that.
I mean, what you need
You got the
really
map
is,
pressure.
yeah, you just need
curve.
information
Yeah.
perks. And if you sort of have semi-decent and just one-shot everyone.
Yeah, you're laughing.
Just on that fact alone, just the actual pressure he can create. And the snowball effect as well. It's like you can down someone in the first 30 seconds of the game with lethal pursuer, rev the chainsaw up, fly over there, down them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So in on that, I reckon he's S tier.
Yeah, fair enough. You bring up a really valid point.
I mean, I did play a little bit of Billy for a while. I did learn him a little bit, and I found out that you didn't really need add-ons or perks if you can hit your chainsaws.
Yeah,
it's easy. Even some of the harder maps, like RPD and that, you can curve around a lot of things. Especially now, it's a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
The only ones that really struggles is probably Larry's and that, but even then, I've seen good Billies destroy on Larry's.
Yeah. Normally they're sort of like sneaky Billies, where they got like this sort of insidious add-ons and stuff like that. Right, okay. Our favourite, the nurse.
I mean, it's
obvious.
It's straight S tier.
Yeah.
The killer literally breaks the rules of the game.
She really does.
There is no loop in a nurse. You just got to hope the nurse player is not that good. Because if they're semi-decent, you can't loop a nurse. You just can't.
No. You can try. Obviously, God loves a tryer, but the nurse will just say, I ain't following the loop. I'll just go through it.
Yeah, I'll just go through it. Like pallets, windows don't matter. You go straight through it. And then even multi-level maps, like the game, Midwich excels at, because you don't know where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Just don't know where she's coming from, especially if she's got the information perks, like nowhere to hide. You got no chance, really. Like, we've all experienced it. Gone against a half a decent and cracked nurse, and you just got no chance.
No. And you just feel that there's just nothing you can do.
No, literally you do is hold Shift W, break line of sight, and that's about it. Can't stay out of loop because she'll just blink on top of you and down you.
Yeah. And because obviously she's had quite a lot of nerfs through the years that she's been around. But again, regardless of the nurse that
I mean, and originally she used to have 6 blinks, I think 5, 6 blinks,
like that,
with no cooldown either, so she can chain them together.
Yeah,
when she first come out. She's not as bad as she used to be, but even now, just be able to go through any loop at any time, go up or down. She's the best killer by far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like you said, you'd have to pray that the individual that's behind the nurse is either average or below.
Yeah, like the first couple of games of the nurse. Because if you go against, like, I don't know, like a P100 nurse, you got no chance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly like I've come across some crack nurses and there's literally nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is run to the corner just so it wastes the nurse's time. Yeah.
And everyone just gets on gen, so that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
But I mean, years ago, you used to be able to get her out of her power, like mid blink and that. You used to be able to like blind her and that, but they took that out. They took that out. Same as like hag traps and that. You used to be able to do them with flashlights.
Yeah, and Wraith as well.
Yeah, you used to be able to burn Wraith. But I can understand that Wraith because he's fairly weak, and sometimes you just couldn't use your power because like 3 survivors just with their lightsabers on you, pretty much.
Yeah.
As soon as you went in power, you get burnt out of it. And it's a long stun duration as well with Wraith.
It was, yeah. and it still is as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Nurse, without physically reworking the power itself, she'll permanently be in
number
S tier.
one. Yeah, be number one.
Yeah. 100%. Right, we got Michael Myers. Now on paper, being able to stalk and then being able to instantly down people, it sounds strong. But when you actually play as Mike with no add-ons, no perks, and you come up against a decent Swift, he's one of the worst.
He definitely D tier. Like,
Yeah.
even with perks and that. Like, I know he's got Tombstone and Infinite tier 3 and that. What actually makes him a viable killer, but apart from that, he's bad. Like,
Yeah.
really bad. Simple as.
Yeah, I honestly, I think once I thought I would try it because I like playing the scratch mirrors. And I like I don't mind doing the infinite. But I thought I'd give it a go with no perks, no add-ons, and I struggled.
Yeah.
I really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's got no map pressure at all.
No.
He's like Trapper without the traps, but being able to instantly down
tier
people.
1, he's not even a killer. He just
No.
He's a pallet's more useful, pretty much.
It really is.
Yeah, pallet's more useful. I get wrong when it's tier 3, extra lunge, extra vault and speed, and all that. But then again, map dependent as well. You've got connected loops. But yeah, he's definitely D tier.
Oh yeah. Right, Hag. Now, also we had a little chat about Hag before the podcast, and you brought up a really good point. So Hag could be A to S tier, but she could also be D tier as well.
Yeah, she could be literally both. Like, because again, it's all dependent on the player themselves and the players you go against.
Yeah.
Because Hag can literally stomp a game or just do nothing.
Yeah.
Literally do nothing.
Because she is like Trapper and she's already got her traps, but I find with her traps, it gives you that edge then onto the map pressure.
Well, yeah, she's got them there. She don't have to like go and pick them up and place them. She just place them.
Yeah.
And if they get wiped away, they get refreshed.
Yeah.
Like Trapper's traps, so they get disarmed. They don't go straight. They don't automatically go to him. You got to go and pick it up. Like,
yeah,
she's just like a better Trapper, really.
She is.
But you just never see a Hag either. Like, no one plays Hag.
No. And even when I played as Hag and I streamed it, and I did fairly well without sort of blowing smoke up my backside. I felt quite strong because I placed traps in awkward positions and being able to traverse the map, providing obviously they triggered it. She felt really good.
Yeah, she can. Like, again, she could be like sometimes like S tier. I'm not saying she is S tier, but like she can just completely stomp games. Like, completely stomp her. Even like if you lose a couple of gens, it don't matter. Really.
Yeah.
In fact, because you can snowball quite hard.
Yeah.
But then again, you do have to be a bit clever with your traps, because if you keep placing them in the same spots, then they get wiped.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of survivors don't do it.
No.
Like, even like say you go and unhook someone, 9 times out of 10 there's going to be a trap there. And people don't do it. People don't wipe it. They just go for the unhook. It sets off. She goes back.
Yeah. Or they normally crouch walk.
Yeah.
Towards the hook. Which again is it is a viable strategy, but it's just a little bit slower.
Yeah.
When you can sort of permanently get rid of that, get the unhook then, and but a lot of people don't even know, to be honest, that you can wipe the trap.
No, I mean years ago you used to be able to do it with a flashlight.
Yeah,
so you could just burn them away. But they took that away.
I agree that you shouldn't have been able to burn them, because you could be looping a Hag around Shack. She would set up a trap right in the middle. All you have to do is stick your flashlight through the window and burn it.
Yeah.
And you take 2 seconds, if that.
Yeah. Or if you've got a teammate there as you loop and they can go and burn it for you.
Yeah. No, exactly. So with Hag, I'm leaning to B tier because she.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be D. I think we should meet in the middle and hit B.
I agree. B tier of Hag. Like, she got map great map pressure because she can teleport halfway across the map.
Yeah.
Got a power ready to go. And again, she can put on hooks, so as soon as you unhook, she can teleport straight there, instant pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say yeah, B tier of Hag.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. There's not a lot of Hag players out there. Like
No.
even Hag mains, there's not a lot out there.
No, like, probably about 2, probably.
Yeah.
Because I don't get me wrong, she can be a bit boring to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I mean, Hag is a little bit boring. Because obviously the early game is setting everything up, but yeah, she ain't the funnest to play with. Like where you gotta play Wesker or Spirit or something like that.
Yeah. Because at least with the other killers, it's more consistent, fast pace, and you know this and that. With Hag, it's all about setting up and then executing the setup.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got Doc now. Personally, I do love Doc, so I am going to be a little bit biased. And especially with his changes as well.
Yep.
And they're not just changes; they're more quality of life changes. So like if you don't get anyone with the static blast, the cooldown is less affected. You can get it more often, which is a really nice touch. So well done, behavior. And obviously he does have the ability to stop survivors from vaulting, dropping pallets, unhooking, healing, doing gens. There's a lot of versatility when it comes to his shocks. But I think with the average Doc, or even below average Doc, I think the reason why people may struggle with Doc is because they keep spamming the shock.
Yeah, you got it's a timing aspect as well.
It is.
Because you can't just spam it at any loop. You got to do it at a specific time so you can catch up. Because a lot of people, I've done it. You keep spamming, never catch up. But if you just take that extra second to sort of like say, yeah, I'll do it here, you can catch up quite easy. And he's one of the few killers who can outplay Shack Pallet as well.
Yeah,
you can outplay it. Like if you watch any good doctors out there, they don't break Shack Pallet at all because they can outplay it because they can shock you. Because what they usually do as you go round, they'll shock you because it's 2.5 seconds, and then they'll go through the window and you can't vault the pallet.
Yeah.
So I think Doctor's a fairly good killer.
I do as well, and I think he's a beginner friendly to a certain degree because he is, he's easy to use. Obviously, it does take that skill aspect to obviously know the timings and stuff like that. But I think if you even sort of invested just a little bit of time in Doc, you might realize that it is kind of fun, and there is that sort of that skill element with the timing.
I will say one thing with Doc that probably won't say he's beginner friendly. That you do need to know pallet spawns.
Yes.
As well, because like good doctors know the pallet inside of Garden and Joy House main. Yes. They can outplay that as well. Like if you obviously it always spawns there, but you got to sort of know where it is and where to aim. Yeah. Because you got to go through the wall, and if you do that at the right time, they can't vault it, and you just go around him. Yeah. Like you do need to have map knowledge of pallet spawns, what can spawn, what tiles, to I'll say be like a good doctor.
Yeah. And another thing as well, he does provide free information. So when someone is in, I believe it's a tier 2 or I think it's tier 2. When you got the Doctor illusions popping
tier
up.
2, yeah.
That tells you where Survivor is.
Yeah, because the illusion will face in the direction where they are.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't use that free aspect. No. The amount of times I've got information for that. It's and sometimes even 2 pop up on a gen. So you're like, oh, there's 2 people there. Yeah.
And one thing in Doctor No, he's got many different types of builds you can do as well.
Oh, he's got loads.
Like you can even do stealth Doc as well. Like stealth Doc, impossible skill set Doc, and like impossible healing Doc. And he's got so many variety of builds as well. So you can spice it out with Doc.
Yeah. And I find Doc quite fun.
Yeah, I generally out of all the killers, I don't mind playing them either.
Yeah. So where would you sort of place Doc?
I'll say B tier. Like down B. I don't think he's good enough to be an A.
No.
but he's not bad enough to be in C. Like, he's better than most
No.
of the C tier killers, so I'll definitely put him in B tier.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Right, our favorite metal,
My beloved,
Huntress.
my
Our
beloved
beloved
Huntress.
Huntress.
If it's up to me, it should be S tier, but
um, obviously, for the people watching, Metal has more hours than me invested into Huntress, and I've learned Huntress because of Metal. He's a P100. I'm a P47 now, I think. So I'm slowly climbing up.
getting there.
Yeah. I love Huntress. For me,
Yep.
she's one of the most fun players to killers to use, and one of the higher skill ceilings as
Yeah.
well for
Oh, yeah.
Huntress. There's a lot of things you need to take into consideration. A major one, hitboxes.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll say to any person that wants to learn Huntress: hitboxes. Because you'd be surprised what you can hit over around as well with the hitboxes. A lot of people think it's lag. It's not. It's the
Yes.
hitbox. It's the
Yeah.
hitbox. Like, I've hit some ridiculous shots just because I know the hitboxes.
Sometimes it is lag, but most of the time,
most of the time, it is like you can hit around a lot of rocks if you know the hitbox. Because obviously the hitbox is bigger than the actual model, so that's where when you crouch behind something and the hatchet's here and it hits, and like, how does that hit? Because the hitbox is like here.
Yeah.
It's not actually on the head; it's above. So that's how you can. Because that's how you can get a lot of hits. And like when survivors are unhooking, say the hook survives in front, and the unhooker is just like in front of the survivor and you're behind.
Yeah.
If you know the angle as they're unhooking, you can hit the person that is unhooking.
Yeah.
You can do it. Like, I've done it many times, but you got to aim quite wide and hit their hitbox. If you hit the one on the hook, obviously it won't count, but
yeah,
you can do that.
But yeah, no, I love Huntress, and she does have quite decent map pressure, especially with the aerials you can do.
Oh yeah.
And she's just fun.
Yeah, and again, she can down you from across the map.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, it is a good Huntress to be able to do that, but
yeah,
she can just down you across the map, and she can down multiple people at once, and she's one of the best like basement campers.
Yeah,
like one of the best. Like if like one of you's gone down around Newark, well, but both of you could go down with a Huntress.
Oh yeah,
especially now these days where you got the base kit babushka. Like the wind up speed's literally nothing now.
Yeah.
Because obviously before you used to run Oak Half and Babushka, that was like the go-to, or Infantry Belt Oak Half. But when they made Babushka base kit, which I reckon they shouldn't have done, and Infantry Belt base kit, which they shouldn't have done, she's like a machine gun now. So
yeah, because when the sort of buff came out, a lot of people in my stream said, "Oh, I bet you're happy and excited for this." I just said, Huntress didn't really need to be sort of looked at, to be honest.
No.
She felt good. She felt strong enough. She didn't feel, weak in any way. Yeah, she just felt good.
The only thing she needed in some of the Coldwood maps was more lockers.
Yes.
Because sometimes you just be in a dead zone, no lockers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know they added a few more for Dredge, but sometimes you still need a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think that's where Huntress suffers the most is the locker placements. The lockers at RNG. Some of them are permanently placed there, so you know where they're gonna be. But because the maps change like almost all the time when you play them, in regards to where the pallets are, where the lockers are gonna be, this and that. The lockers are Huntress downfall. Like I think that's probably why it's one of the reasons why she's not in S tier.
And as well, she's quite mechanically demanding as well.
Yes.
She's again one of the hardest killers to play out there with like Billy. You know what I mean? It's very mechanically demanding. End of the day, if you don't hit your hatches, you ain't gonna win. No matter what perks you got. You can have the best build ever, and if you don't hit your hatchets, you ain't gonna win. Simple as.
No.
That's why I used to run all the perks and no gen aggression, because no matter how much gen aggression you got, again, if you don't hit your hatchets, you ain't gonna win. Simple as.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, it was more stressful to run generated perks than it is aura.
I just like going for the cross maps and that, and all the
The
information,
content.
the better. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things I love doing is going through those,
Mhm.
especially off the bat with Lethal Pursuit. You can
Yeah.
just get a quick sniper early, and yeah,
But again, you could do different builds with Huntress. You could do
stealth build.
stealth build, yeah, with you got Wooden Fox.
Mhm.
You could do obviously Iridescent Hatchet, Huntress as well.
Mhm.
But again, if we take all the add-ons out and all the perks out, I still think Huntress is, even now, she's stronger than she used to be
Yeah,
because she got the
yeah.
additional hatchets and obviously the additional wind-up speed and even the reload as well.
I mean,
She
yeah,
reloads quicker.
yep. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, yeah, they buffed that as well. So you do need to,
Yeah,
because you always used to have run Iron Maiden. That was the Iron Maiden was the go-to.
necessary.
It was
Yeah,
necessary. You had to do it because otherwise it was just too slow. I mean, you had the add-on disc and gloves, but it was good enough, but not at the same time. You can sort of
yeah,
get away with it, but the Iron Maiden was always better. Always.
yeah, and I always find if you run Iron Maiden with Dia skin, I think that was just overkill.
Yeah, that was overkill. She
for it.
literally she pulled the lockers over, so that's a bit overkill.
Yeah, I just thought if you brought Iron Maiden, you might as well, like, obviously back then, bring Oakhaft and bring Babushka.
Yeah.
I tried to use Rose Root, which is a decent
It-
add-on, but
Yeah,
if you run out of the add-on and you get too used to it, it throws you off.
It's the same as Shiny Pin. Like Shiny Pin's one of the top 3 add-ons. It's so good, but
Yeah.
you get so used to it. And obviously, for people that don't know, Shiny Pin makes you move faster. I think it's 5% faster when you wind up a hatchet.
Hmm.
And obviously, it's a big difference. And you get really used to it. But then as soon as you take it off, it's like you're paying Huntress for the first time again.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really use it. Even though I like it, I never used to use it. Same as Rose Root.
Hmm.
Once you start using it, you get used to the flight speeds. You take it off, it completely ruins your muscle memory.
Oh, it does.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm leaning towards. I think purely for the fact of the Lock RNG. She's a 110 killer, so she's not exactly quick. But she has really good map pressure. She got really good high skill ceiling, and for the average and above Huntress, they're deadly.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards A for
Yeah,
Huntress.
I agree. A tier, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely A tier.
One day Huntress, one day you might make it up to SD.
I mean, that'd be some change though, because
It
if you
would
look
be.
at S tier, Nurse and Billy, like Huntress can't really compete with Billy.
No.
This is a
Well,
simple fact. She can't
I
compete
think
with Billy.
I think Huntress once was I would deem A tier, and the only reason why was a lot of the veterans out there back in the day. You could have what 3 or 4 iridescent hatchets.
Yeah, 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if she was like that now, I think
that wouldn't be S tier. That'd be broken. That'd be OP tier. That'd be just be broken.
OP.
Yeah, it'd just be OP tier. That'd be completely broken and unplayable. You get so many DCs, it'd be unreal.
Yeah. Well, it used to happen a lot even back then.
Oh yeah, yeah. But then again, you didn't have perks like Lethal Pursuer battling. So imagine you spawned in with 3 eerie hatchets, Lethal Pursuer, and you snope someone off the bat, and they're down.
Well, that happened to you. Funny enough, you in one of your streams, first 15 seconds, you hit a really nice cross map, and the second it hit them, they DC'd.
Yeah, they literally DC'd you, and I got called unfair for doing that.
Yeah,
I was like,
and you wouldn't even run in iridescent hatchets either.
No, it's just normal build. Overreading through it, they DC'd, and I was like, oh cool.
Right, Bubba. Our favorite, one of our favorite chainsaw wielding maniacs. When I go up against a Bubba, I do get quite excited because it's always a joy to go up against a Bubba. Because most of the time, I think most of the time the games are normally quite fair. Again, he has a really strong M2, really really strong power. But again, then you gotta learn the sort of collision then with the objects. Obviously, walls is quite self-explanatory, but when you're going around a rock, when you got the sort of pointed edges, that's when it gets a little bit tricky, especially for the average or below. So you got to really know your map knowledge and obviously the hitboxes as well. What's your opinion on the old Booba?
I'll say again another fun killer.
Mm-hmm.
He suffers a lot of windows. Same like Billy, but Billy can play around windows easier than Bubba can.
Mm-hmm.
But like he does suffer with windows a lot. That's why you always want Bamboozle.
Yeah.
But then again, he's got that snowball effect where you can literally down everyone in one chainsaw swoop.
Yeah.
Literally. And
Yeah.
also they buffed his base speed with it now,
Yeah, they have, yeah.
which is really nice. And also they sorted out a lot of the collisions, so now he's
Yeah.
a lot easier to play.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's a fun killer. Everyone loves a Bubba. Like people love going against Bubbas.
They do. They do. And he is very. I think he's one of the most beloved
Yeah.
killers in the community.
Yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, like you said, he does suffer with the windows, and a lot of people as well. A lot of the average and higher, they sort of know the timing of his sweeps because if you're looping around, a pallet, you can time the pallet to stun him instead of him destroying
breaking
the
the
pallet.
pallet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's another thing, with survivors that they can learn going up against a Bubba. But again, new people are coming up with new tricks. You got people that stop
You ever watched a Flick Bubba?
a flick Bubba.
Flick Bubba. Literally, some really good Bubbas out there can rev up as they go before they get to the pallet. They can flick it round so they come round the loop.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, like it's a skill. It's
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's literally it's like say you need quite a high DPI to do it. You won't be able to do it with a controller, no way. Like you need to instantly flick it, so then you can go round before actually pretend to go through the pallet, but you can flick it round.
Yeah,
I see one Bubba do it years ago when I was watching. I'll say about a year or so ago, and I was impressed. I think he was on a hens video. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing like this competition thing, and this Bubba turned up, and yeah, he flicked it around the loop and down the guy. It was really impressive.
Fair play.
But then again, that's like really high skill, and
yeah,
wouldn't recommend for any newer Bubbas.
Yeah, and I think that's where people may have the disadvantage as well, is playing on console compared to PC.
Yeah,
we've played on console. I started streaming on Xbox. You was on PlayStation.
Yep.
And we're both on PC now, and the difference is night and day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can do it. So I played Hunted for years on a controller, but it's so much easier on mouse and keyboard.
It is
so much easier.
It really is. Now, where does our faithful Bubba land? Now, he does have a really strong power. You can use his power to get around the map.
Yeah,
he does move that a little bit quicker when he's doing his thing. But also, you do have the downside. Then, if you bump into something, you have a long cooldown.
And you can overheat as Bubba. A lot of people don't know this. You can
Yeah.
overheat as Bubba, and he goes into tantrum.
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So where would you sort of place Bubba? I'm leaning maybe B to C.
I'll say B. I'll
Yeah.
say B tier. Again, he's going to be a lot better than most of the actual C tier killers.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say he's like high B, but like I'll say he's definitely B tier.
Yeah. No, I agree. Right. Freddy.
Scary Terry.
Yeah. Now Freddy's been through quite a bit since he's been released. He's had two major, I would say, major reworks. Obviously, when he first came out, he was incredibly weak.
Yeah, he was awful. He's bad. He was really bad.
If that Freddy was still here today,
it'd be
worse than Trapper.
Yeah, worse than Trapper. Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, because obviously for the people watching, if you don't know, back in the day when Freddy first came out, you had to hit survivors and draw in their dreams to bring them into the dream world.
Yeah.
And it was the most tedious concept and the most tedious gameplay you would ever see in your life. But thank God that's in the past now.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy playing Freddy now. I didn't mind it so much previously before this new rework. Don't get me wrong. Freddy is not, in my opinion, he's not A tier
No.
at the moment. But I do like the changes that they've gone with. Instead of having the dream snares being stationary and then being add-on depending as well, because you could either have dream snares or pallets.
Yeah.
Now you can have both without an add-on. And even the sort of range shot it has, it does go relatively far. But it's increased our skill level just a little bit because it's more of a skill shot now, and
Yeah.
it's not something you can just rapid fire. And it's handy because it applies the hindered status effect on the survivor to make him slower. So it makes him slower to get to the pallets, the windows, blah blah blah. But what's your opinion on Freddy?
Yeah, like, I've not actually played him, but I've gone against him. And I've seen a few like videos and that on him. Obviously, he's got his downsides now. You can go to any clock to wake yourself up. Before,
Yeah.
you had your designated one,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the fake pallets.
You can.
You can see them, but overall, I think now I've sort of looked into him a bit more. I think the changes are a lot better than he was before. He was like D tier, like he was D tier. With these new changes, I think they're pretty good, and it makes him less add-on. And he's got like an add-on where he can teleport to the gates now.
Yeah,
which if you got like NOED and things like that, it's quite.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, because at first when I first played against it, I thought, nah, he's like C tier, like he ain't that good. When I sort of looked in a bit more, I reckon he'd probably sneak into B. Like, it'd be low B. Like he's a lot better. And now if you think about it, like you got Wraith in C tier, like he's much better than Wraith. Like on the base, he's much better than Wraith.
Yeah, he's got and he has the ability to TP to completed gens, even after all the gens are done.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until I sort of looked into it, and I was like, actually, that's actually pretty good. Because beforehand you couldn't do it.
No.
And in any gen that's completed, you couldn't do it. But now, yeah, I'd give Freddy B tier.
Yeah, I agree. And also, you can TP to people healing if they're in the dream world. As well, which is really nice.
Again, really good. I'll say B tier.
Yeah.
If I had to see a lot more to see if he's an A, but like I'd say definitely B.
Yeah. And it's nice as well because it's not like you spawn right on top of them. You spawn, I think it's 12 meters away. So you're still far enough for the survivors to have, just that little bit of distance.
Oh, yeah, if you spawned right top of them, that'd be like, it'd be A tier, definitely.
Yeah. But it's just nuts to think, though, that after all this time, only now can Freddy spawn to completed generators, because back then it literally took his TP away from him. It took his ability away.
I mean, he's been in the game for what, 7 years now at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they do the good changes. It just takes like a minimum 7 years.
Yeah, it is a shame, but you know what? I gotta give it to Behavior. They've done actually quite a decent job on old Freddy. So I'll stick him in old B tier. Right now we've got Piggy, Amanda. When I play as Pig, because she's had a slight change with her powers. So I don't know if the speed has increased, but I know the distance, the actual the lasting effect of the power has increased. And I must admit, it does make a difference. It really does. Her traps are her traps. They
give out pressure because it keeps survivors off gens, and it's just another little side thing to keep people off gens. So she's got that little bit of slowdown. Because we've all been there. You go to one box, nope. Go to the other box, nope. You go to the other box, nope. You go to the last box, and it's like, oh, it's this one across the map. Yeah. So it does waste a lot of time, Pig.
And I think that's where Pig's strong suit is that she is one of the best time wasters. For going up against survivors. She's not strong by any means at all.
No, she does suffer in a lot of the like bigger maps and other maps, like say Eerie,
Yeah.
Joy, those sort of maps, she does suffer with like connecting loops because again, her power it has been changed, but it's still not the best.
No, it's by far is not the best. Obviously she does have the element of surprise as well.
Yeah.
With the I keep wanting to call it insidious, but it's not. That's the perk.
Yeah.
What's the status effect? I can't remember what it's what it's called. I've been playing this game long enough.
Yeah, it's Oblivious, isn't it? But no, it ain't.
No, it's not Oblivious.
Well, she goes in stealth anyway. She goes.
Yeah.
She goes stealth.
Yeah, and she hides a terror radius.
Yeah.
But yeah, undetectable. Thank you, Kixt.
That's undetectable.
There we go. Thank you. So she does have that element of surprise. Not that often, like going up against quite a competent sort of Swift. They're not really going to fall for the the shock of it.
Well, no, if you're going against a Swift, they're going to call you out every time. They're going to say, "Oh, she's over here," or "She's over here," or "She's by Shaq." So.
Yeah, and I think that's where she suffers the most is if she's going up against a full Swift.
Yeah.
If it's a full solo queue people, just 4 people that's not in the party, they have no communication, nothing, then maybe she will thrive a bit, but the average decent survivor anyway, nah, I think she sort of she falls on that aspect. But again, like you said, she does have really good sort of game slowdown.
Yep.
It does force people to get off the gens. So where would you sort of put Pig?
I'll say C2.
Yeah.
She's not bad enough to be in D, but she's not good enough to be in B. And I mean, just say she's just in C.
Yeah. Right. Clown. So, obviously, we had a chat about Clown before the podcast. Now, Clown used to have a really strong add-on called Pinky Finger, and that was really strong. If you managed to hit someone physically with a bottle, they'd be exposed.
Yeah.
Obviously, that add-on no longer exists, really. So, personally, I find Clown quite weak.
See, I got to disagree a little bit. Like, he's really good at shutting down loops. Like, because you got to remember, they may nerf that one add-on, but they buffed his base power. They gave him more bottles, and I'm pretty sure they buffed the reload speed as well.
Have buffed, and I believe they buffed the lasting effect for the yellow balls.
Yeah. So they may have nerfed that add-on, but his actual base power is a lot better than it used to be. And he can outplay Shaq. Most tiles, like LT wars. You don't want to go in LT war against a Clown.
No.
You've really done.
Lost all. Yeah, you've probably lost that.
To me, I think Clown's a lot stronger than people think he is now. Because again, he's been buffed a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say he's like massively strong. I wouldn't say he's A tier. But I wouldn't say he's weak as people make him out to be. Because then again, he can shut down much loops and he can play around pallets.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to break. And if you're out in the open, he hits you with a bottle, he's going to catch you. So he's going to catch you. And again, he has got a little bit of map pressure with yellow bottles. Because you can chain them and you just fly across the map.
Yeah.
And with the buff reload speed now, I mean, before you couldn't move and reload. The Clown.
Yeah, you had to stand still.
You had to stand still, but now you can move and reload.
Yeah.
Well, that was years ago. They changed that a long time ago. But
yeah,
like, I'll say he's definitely a lot stronger, especially in some of these shorter loops. Even Shaq, he can sort of play around.
Yeah. Thank you, Minty, as well with the sub, mate. I really do appreciate it. It's going to be added to the Skill Issue podcast pod.
Oh.
Thank you ever so much,
We'll
mate.
be in Bahamas next week.
I get that, but because on paper, yes, the Clown's base power, it is a lot better than what it used to be. Personally, every time I've gone up against a Clown, they haven't been the best. I don't know what my MMR is. It could be 1, it could be mid. I'm not going to say it's up there because it's not. But I just find that, you know what? I'm gonna retract my statement because I'm starting to think what you've said,
Mm.
and I don't have an argument to go against it.
Yeah, because beforehand, yeah, definitely he was quite weak. I'd definitely
Yeah.
say it was like C tier, like definitely. But now with these increased buffs, I know they took his strongest add-on away, but yeah, you don't need it. You really don't need it. You can, like, good clowns can outplay a loop with 3 bottles. They throw 2 pink ones and a yellow one, and you're down. And you're down.
Yeah,
Simple as.
because I'm thinking about the games I've played as well. Because I would say I'm an average player. I have my highs, I have my lows. And there's been a couple of times where I thought of outside the box. Like I also discussed with you on Midwich, near one of the exit gates, you got the 2 hospital beds, and then you got the pallet. Instead of throwing the bottle at them or near them, I literally threw it at the ceiling, so it would trickle down.
Yeah.
And it had a much bigger radius.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise you can do that. Like Country, you can do it. You can throw it at the actual tree, it trickles down.
Yeah.
And it slows them. Obviously, it'll slow them. Like, you can do little attacks with that with Clown.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really see it that often.
Certain shacks. Yeah, and even certain shacks where some of the roof is exposed.
Yeah.
You could do it there. But again, takes that skill. So, based off your argument and me retracting mine, I would probably say then Clown is in B tier.
I'll say yes. No, it's a joke.
That's going to say non.
No, yeah, I agree. I'd say now he's definitely B tier. Like, he's much better to play, and he was a couple of years ago, or like a year ago, before they changed him. Like, he's much better to play.
Yeah.
And if you run certain perks and that, so you have coup de grace on Clown's quite good. So I'll definitely say he's definitely B tier.
Yeah. Right. Spirit.
D tier.
No.
No,
no, Spirit has one of the sadder lore stories. But without add-ons and without the perks, stuff like that, her power is quite strong. She's got decent map pressure. You can hear survivors with audio, and you can even physically see, even when she's phasing, so the survivors can't physically see her. If a survivor's running through grass, you can see the grass move, so you know exactly where they are.
Yep.
And again, a lot of Spirit people don't really sort of take advantage of that. Overall, she's very strong.
Yeah, I agree. She is a strong killer. She has got a few downsides. Again, she's 110 out of her power. She's completely useless. She's 110. And now before, when she was in her power, it wasn't directional like it is now. Like, you can tell what side she's coming from. Before, it was just, you couldn't tell. So the mind game was even more crazy. But now you can sort of tell what direction she's coming from. Don't get me wrong, she's still a strong killer, incredibly strong. Even her power, so you can get across the map really quick. And she does have that mind game effect. And she can down multiple survivors at once, if the spirit's good enough.
Yeah.
Overall, I'll say she's a really good killer. I'll probably put A tier, high A.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she's S tier because because to just benchmark it, she went against a Billy. The Billy's just much better.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Back in the day, if we were going to do this tier list back in the day with add-ons, Spirit would have been an S tier. Mother and daughter
ring. And Cherry Blossom was sickening. How that stayed in the game for so long, I have no idea. She was definitely S tier with that. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon she belongs in A. Definitely A tier. I wouldn't put her S tier. Because again, you can tell what direction she's coming from, so you can sort of play the mind game.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And you could still even some people still fall for it where
you stand still and you stand still and they fault the pallet and that's the oldest trick in the book. Literally, with Spirit, you just stand still.
Yeah. Right, Lesion. Lesion is a very, very good noob stomper. When it comes to new players, he destroys them.
Oh yeah.
Any sort of average and above, Legion is one of the weakest killers.
Yeah, by
He's
far.
just more of a pest. He's
Yeah.
more of a killer that you just go, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah,
we're up
because
against
people
him."
don't go, oh, it's a Legion, not just because he's how strong he is, because how annoying he is.
He is. He's
Yeah.
just a nuisance.
Yeah, he's just so annoying to play
He is.
against because it's just a mending simulator.
That's all it is. It's just a one big time waster.
And he suffers a lot with the bigger maps.
Oh my God, massively.
Yeah, because again, if you're going against Legion, you never group up.
No.
You just all split off. And yeah, he struggles massively with it.
Yeah.
And again, his power don't do nothing. I mean, he can vault windows with it, but in power, you can't down someone unless he gets the chain hits. Unless he gets one fresh hit. And then obviously the fourth one is a down. So technically the fifth hit, but on the fourth frenzy hit, then is a down. But like I've played a little bit of Legion. How often does that really happen?
Not often.
Not often. As far as smart enough, they just go away and they just won't give it to you.
Yeah. The only game mode that made Legion overpowered was Lights Out.
And like I said before, whatever any game mode makes Legion S tier is a bad game mode. So
it is. Yeah. I don't know why they include, because they didn't include Freddy in Lights Out.
Do you know why?
Was it because of the texture?
No, the Dreamworld. Yeah, they couldn't be bothered to sort Dreamworld out, so they just disabled him. That's why.
Fair enough. But yeah, honestly, Legion was the most overpowered person in Lights Out, because as soon as you hit someone, you had killer instinct, so you know where everyone was. And I thought I would do a test, and yes, I did stoop that low, and I had a 4K at 4 gens.
So playing Dredge and Lights Out, you know what I mean?
Oh, that was fun. That was funny. Just get to scare people. It was great. But yeah, no, Legion is incredibly weak. His map pressure is, I'm not going to say is non-existent, because he can traverse maps. But again, he still suffers with the bigger maps, even when he's in Frenzy. To me, Legion D tier.
Yeah, I agree. D tier.
Yeah,
D tier.
Right. Okay. Plague. For me, Plague is incredibly strong.
Yeah, one of the most oppressive killers, because she can literally nullify a lot of perks.
Yeah,
especially if you bring a few healing perks or bring med kits or anything like that, will make it, and she can just say, goodbye, half your build or your whole build. You know what I mean? Say you bring circle healing, you can't use that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
and she doesn't even have to bring perks or add-ons to be able to do that, to nullify people's perks. She can literally just go with base kit.
Yeah, she's a very oppressive killer, and she can puke on gens as well. So she can just walk across a gen, puke on it, and if you touch it, she knows where you are. She can do it with gates as well, pallets, windows, all that as well. So
everything.
Yeah.
She's really good against blood points, though. I must admit, she's very good against blood points.
And again, as well, obviously, our power works. Obviously, once you got the illness, you cleanse that fountain. She can go pick it up, and it becomes red, and that's when she can damage you. And that is, again, really good. It's say if everyone's all injured, because by default she starts with one red fountain. So you get everyone injured, you pick it up. She can hit over pallets through little gaps. You know what I mean? You can do aerial shots of it over loops. Yeah, she's a very, very oppressive killer, and a lot of people don't like playing against her because you can't use medkits or anything like that. And it's some of the strongest things, like syringes, you can't use it. So,
no.
And because as well with Plague, you do one or two things. You don't cleanse until the end, or you all cleanse. Because a lot of people don't realise if you cleanse at every fountain, it resets them, and she only gets a power once.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. You told me that.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. But everyone has to cleanse. You can't have two people cleanse and two people not, because you just give her a power all the time. But yeah, you can do it that way. So she gets it once, like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And for me, there's nothing more infuriating when you're playing as Survivor. Everyone is sick, everyone's on just crack on with gens, but then there's that one person that just sneaks off
And cleanses,
and cleanses, and it just
and they don't go
that
and do
back
it as well.
game.
And they don't go and do it all like in the edge of the map. They do it in the center. So she picks it up and then downs everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly like even without add-ons, perks, for me she's easily, and I don't even have to think twice, A tier.
Yeah,
Easily.
without doubt. Like
Yeah.
without doubt. Again, what stops her being like S tier is that you can deny her power, like a puke power, like the red one. She literally comes like an M1 killer. If you don't, if you don't actually cleanse and you sort of know how to loop, you can just deny her actual red power.
Yeah.
But overall, again, great killer, very impressive, and yeah, can just snowball the game really easy.
Yeah, and she's not the best, but she's one of the best for snowballing.
Yeah,
easily. Right. God, we're flying through these. Ghostface, another community sort of loved killer, especially mainly for the Mori, I would say.
Yeah.
But the ability as well to teabag, as it's pig can teabag, but it's a lot slower.
Yeah.
Ghostface can just spam it. Now, I am personally one of probably the worst Ghostface players. I am horrifically bad. But even with the ghost faces I've gone up against, even half decent ones, Ghostface overall, for me, I don't know if you agree, but for me, he is very weak.
Yeah, I played a lot of Ghostface. I played quite a bit of Ghostface. And yeah, I'd say he's generally quite weak because what good survivors do will break out your power all the time. They will not allow you to have it.
Mm-hmm.
They will follow you and pester you as you're in chase. Someone else should be staring at you all the time, breaking out your power, and you're completely useless.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, if you can get the marks, get the downs, great. You can do well, Ghostface, but then again, he struggles a lot, especially a lot of these bigger tiles, maps, because then again, he's got no map pressure at all.
He's literally got none.
He's got no map pressure at all. He just relies, and good Ghostfaces need to know how survivors path and where to be, and little cheeky little spots where you can stalk through, and 99 and people, leaving them for later. So what a lot of ghost faces don't do. They will see someone, stalk them, and go straight after them. Sometimes you can just stalk them.
That's me.
Leave them because say you know 2 people in a gen or saying, leave that one because they don't think they've been stalked. Then they get a bit in your face. You one tap them, then one tap them. It's little tricks for that with Ghostface, but again, I played a lot of Ghostface and he's very weak. He struggles a lot. Because then again, he's just a basic M1 killer. His power does nothing in chase. Unless you're good enough where you can use it in chase, where you can crouch up and down, sort of dodge the actual getting broke out of it. Because obviously, once the survivors march, they can't break out power. So, but overall, he's very weak. I'll say he's D tier.
Yeah, no, I agree. And his sort of the ability of survivors getting him out of his power is for me very sensitive as well. Because sometimes when you're playing a survivor and you're not, you can see him in the peripheral, but you're not physically looking at him.
Yeah.
As long as he's on your screen, it'll break him out.
Well, sometimes you get broke out when you can't even see the survivor half a mile away, and they're looking behind a rock or something, and they break you out because it's not actually, it's to do with the survivor's camera.
Yeah,
not the actual survivor looking at themselves. You can angle the camera, you can break them around corners and that.
Yeah,
and
but yeah, I would say Ghostface, 100% D tier. Yeah, Demogorgon, another community favorite. Probably the most balanced killer.
Yeah, I agree with that. And probably I'd say if you are gonna start killer, I know you got to pay for him, but he's probably the best killer to learn how to play killer. Because he teaches you everything: patience, map awareness, because we pulls, and how to loop, patience with the shred, all
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Little combos you can do with the shred as well.
Yeah.
And little techs, like the shred goes like the length of Shaq. So like if you can like wind it up and go as you go round the corner, like you do a Huntress, you wind up
Yeah.
and then throw. You can do it with demo, and you can slide off some cars with demo.
Yeah, and you can cut off access to windows with
Yep.
the shred as well.
Yep, you can do that. Yeah, and pallets, you can jump in front of them so they can't get the pallet.
Yeah.
And all this other little bits and pieces. And again, it's a very balanced killer. Like I don't ever hear anyone moaning that it's a demo, like ever.
No. The only time I've heard people moan about a demo is if they're doing a specific build that involves totems.
Oh, right, yeah.
But other than that,
Because then again, he's one of the best at defending totems.
he is.
Because
Yeah.
these portals, if you're in a 4 meter radius, if I remember correctly,
Yeah, 3 or 4, something like that.
gives
Yeah.
him killer instincts once
Killer
he charges his
instinct.
power. So you can put him next to like generators, totems, and defend them really well because he can go across the
Yeah.
map in seconds. So
Yeah. But yeah, like he's not the quickest killer as in movement. Obviously, he does have really good map pressure with the portals. But like you said, you sort of hit the nail on the bud there. He does teach you map knowledge, map pressure, patience with the shred as well.
Yep.
Because even I still making mistakes with the shred because it does take only a little bit, but it does take a little bit of time to
Yep.
fully be able to do the shred. And sometimes I get too excited. The second I press M2, I press M1,
Yep.
and then I end up swinging.
Yeah.
Looking like a pleb.
Mm-hmm.
But again, yeah, really, really, he's just an average killer, and everyone loves him.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, I'll say he's definitely B tier. Like he's just straight down the middle. Yeah, just B tier. Like does everything you need, really, and you can run some mean builds with him, especially totem builds.
Oh, yeah.
And as well with his portals, a little trick you can do: the 2 lockers in Shag. If you put it close enough, anyone hides in those lockers. You hold your power, and the killer instinct will show anyone in lockers.
Yeah.
So you can't, because he can do that, and you can cover both lockers and Shaq for that.
Yeah, they used to be that really major bug. It did take a little bit of skill to do, where you used to be able to pick up a survivor and access your portal.
Oh yeah,
so you can. But they don't. You can't do that anymore now, thankfully. But yeah, Oni. Now, I attempted to main Oni. I'm P33, I believe. I love playing as Oni, especially on PC. The movement that you have with him, like being able to sort of drift and flick and stuff like that. Oni is one of the best snowball effect killers.
Yep.
But the thing that sets him from going into S tier is if you don't get a hit within the first 20 or 30 seconds of the match, it's going to be a major struggle.
Yeah, because a lot of people just pre-drop and just pre-drop and pre-drop because the longer you deny the Oni his power, the better. But if he gets a hit in the first 20, 30 seconds, it could be GG straight away. Because again, he's very snowbally. He can literally down everyone with one power.
Yeah,
literally 1 power, and you could do 180s with him, 90 degrees, go around corners, all sorts with Oni. And again, great map pressure. And again, like you said, early game what lets him down a lot.
Yeah. He's very strong, like you said previously as well before the podcast. Oni gets stronger the longer you're in the match.
Oh yeah, because all the pallets get burnt, and you can't pre-drop against him. Yeah. And as well with his power as well, if you know, you don't have to charge it all the way to instant down someone. You can literally hold it for like 2 seconds, and you can just bang, quickly tap someone in front of you. You don't need to hold it right down.
Yeah, and you have the ability to down multiple people even with the one swing. Yeah. I think the most I've had is 3, and that was just by pure luck.
Yeah,
never had the 4. Maybe one day. Sorry, my partner just coming to chat and she said, I'm sure you got this wrong, as Trapper should be at the top. She's a Trapper main. Bias.
We'll do a separate tier list just for her.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, again, only very, very strong. The only thing that sets him back is right at the start of the match. I think the first 20 to 30 seconds is key, and it does make a massive, massive difference. Any sort of average or above survivor will know just pre-drop and
Yep.
just delay the power as much as they possibly can. I would say Oni again really strong. A tier,
Yeah,
probably
definitely.
low A tier.
Yeah, like definitely A tier. Like just
Yeah.
his power alone. He's just like a little worse Billy, basically.
Yeah.
And like Billy's a lot more. Like Oni's like driving a tank, basically.
Mhm.
Like you got to get really used to Oni, where like Billy's like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? He's nice to play and like turn with and curve, and Oni is like a tank, basically. But again,
Yeah,
he is very, very strong.
he is, and I love the ability to, like, you can mind game loops whilst you're in your dash.
Mm.
The amount of times I've caught survivors off guard
Yeah.
on a basic loop, and even on like the sort of really safe pallets, you can mind game really well with Oni, but again comes with experience. Right, we got Caleb, aka Deathslinger.
Again, I've played a lot of Deathslinger as well.
I've played a decent amount.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Deathslinger.
Back in the day, he used to have the ability to basically quickscope.
Yeah.
So windows were guaranteed not safe.
Yeah. I do miss that aspect of him because it gave the survivors little no room to dodge, and like, if you're half decent, you can quit scope a lot of people. You can't do that now.
Yeah.
But then again, you can hit through very small holes.
Oh yeah.
Very small holes. It makes them good at shack. Most pallets you can hit over, wind up, hit round. Again, I'd say he's a fairly average killer. Like, I wouldn't say he's amazing. I wouldn't say he's bad.
No.
And they did change these Terror Rages because beforehand, his Terror Rages used to be smaller than his actual range of his gun. So
yeah.
I think you could get down to like 12. What was it, 14? I think 14 meter Terror Rages, and I think the Harpoon goes 18 meters.
18, yeah.
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 Before you used to be able to get to 14, so you could just be able to sneak out on gens and just get you off it. But they changed that a long time ago now. It don't go down that far anymore. But
yeah.
Again, yeah, I'd say he's like B2. Like,
yeah.
Definitely B2.
Yeah. Right. A personal favorite of mine, just due to nostalgia, Pyramid Head. Is the main reason why I really started getting into DVD. Because the Silent Hill, I absolutely love Silent Hill. But Pyramid Head is quite strong because he can hit through loops. He can mind game to a certain extent. But again, he has not much map pressure. He is.
I mean, if you know cage spawns, because obviously the cage spawns the furthest point, you can put a lot of pressure that way. Because how many times you've been uncaged, you turn around and he's there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's one of the best tunnelers in the game. Cause
oh yeah,
because as you come off the cage, it's not classed as a hook. So you don't get like endurance. Your DS doesn't work. Your off the records don't work or anything like that. So overall, just in that fact as well, he can create a lot of pressure. Especially his way he got his little like jam he puts down. Everyone calls it jam, but it's like he's talking.
Jam, yeah.
Yeah. Which lasts 75 seconds as well.
Yeah.
So you can use that as information. And yeah, the only thing that lets him down, that he's literally got 2 add-ons. Only 2 add-ons, and it's double range.
Yeah. And that's the only ones you need. And that's the only ones you can use, because all the rest
are just awful. Horrific. So bad. Like, you should never use them ever. No. I don't think I've seen maybe one Pyramid use like the Chalice, and I don't even know what it does because no one uses it.
No, like there was one where as long as you stay in your torment, aka the jam, you become undetectable.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have like a lingering effect when you step out. It just cuts.
I think that's an Eerie. Is that an Eerie?
Oh, I don't know if it's an Eerie or purple, But I'm thinking, like, it's such a bad add-on.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like,
It
literally,
is.
you just run double range and that's it. That's all you
Yeah.
ever do. Like,
Yeah.
again, he can hit. He's really good at loops. Like,
You
really
can hit
good.
some really nice flicks as well.
And he can hit downstairs, not upstairs, but like going down, he can hit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll say he's solid. Again, one of the best tunnelers because most of the perks it just don't apply to him at all.
Yeah.
And
And back in the day, you used to be able to put the torment around the hook. You
Yeah.
can't now.
No,
So it
you can't
does
do it anymore.
disappear. But yeah, that used to be a really strong thing as well.
hmm
But a lot of people don't know that you can crouch walk through the jam and it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, sure you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say he's mid to strong. So BA, sort of in that
I
range.
will
would say.
say, like, definitely, I'll say he's A tier.
Yeah.
Definitely A tier because again, he nullifies a lot of the actual strong perks in the game.
Yeah. And that's obviously including with him not having any add-ons, perks, nothing.
Yeah, he don't. Like, again, he endurance effect. Like, if you cage people, you don't get it. So
Yeah.
he can use his power to down the pair of you, whoever's on cage and the person come out of the cage. So
You just have to hope they step in the jam.
and
Yeah.
obviously good pyramid heads will make you step in that jam. Like,
Oh yeah.
you'll go
choice.
you're going in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll say he's definitely A tier.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
'Cause-
And
again, he can down multiple survivors at once.
you can, yeah.
And he can outplay a lot of loops with his power, especially that double range, or even like the normal range is good enough, really. But you just don't use any other add-ons because
Yeah.
they're bad, they're
they're
terrible.
useless.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Right, as hens would say, Ziblight.
Probably the weakest killer in the game. Since they took Hug Tech out, he's unplayable. We can't play him. That's a joke.
Yeah, as Hen says, one of the strongest killers in the game.
Yeah, he's definitely S tier. Like, he's up there.
Yeah.
The actual just map pressure, like, yeah, Blight is just incredibly strong killer.
Yes.
Like, you don't even need add-ons. Again, you don't need perks with Blight.
No.
If you know your bump, you know how to bump with him. And like, I know the the Hug Tech's gone, but he was S tier before that. So
yeah, and he's still S tier now.
And you can and you can sort of Hug Tech. Technically, you can get close enough to loops where it won't be a Hug Tech, but you can get close enough, and you can do like 180 flicks, 90 flicks, all sorts, like J flicks, all sorts. So there's all different flicks with Blight, and like any perk works with him. And again, you don't need add-ons. So
no, and he has really good map pressure.
Oh, unbelievable! He can get across the map, and like the only one probably quicker than him is probably Billy. Really.
Billy, yeah,
because he don't need to bump in anything. You can just go straight across. But
yeah,
definitely S tier killer by far. But then again, he's one of the hardest to play just because you got to know how to bump.
Yeah, because it's like with the previous Billy, his skill ceiling was still like really high. And even with the changes, it's not like they've sort of deducted the skill ceiling; they've just shifted it.
Yeah, with Billy, it's just a lot more easier to play him now than it was like before they changed him. That's why you didn't see a lot of Billies, but now you see a lot of Billies.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, and also you got the Lilith Omen. He's arguably the best Blight out there.
Yeah, I mean he's got close to 10,000 hours in Blight, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, he plays with literally 2 perks.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes no perks and no add-ons and that, and
still smashes out with 4K.
Yeah. And he can even play around some of the worst maps like Larry's because door frames and that. It's just awful to try and bump through. It's like trying to get through a door sometimes. It's like
Yeah, it's worse than going up against survivors half the time.
Yeah, literally, your biggest enemy is doors.
Yeah, but no, Blight has been in S tier ever since he's come out, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's just sort of remaining there now. But yeah, right. Charlotte and Victor, aka the Twins. There's not a lot of Twins players out there. One of the first killers I truly mained was Doc and Twins. I used to main twins. And my favorite map to main twins was Hawkins, and I'll tell you why. Because I love the concept of planting Victor on one exit gate and Charlotte on the other. And I just, yeah, I just thought it was like the power aspect is a really cool concept because it was the first killer to introduce two killers in some sense. But Victor's hitbox and collisions is still, even now, and she's been out for years, even now is still very temperamental and very finicky. But yeah, a lot of people don't like twins because she does have a really good sort of slugging
I
capability.
mean, yeah, that's how you play the killer. You have to slug.
Yeah.
It's literally you
Mhm.
have to slug. If you don't, I mean, you're not playing the killer because you got to down with Victor and then walk across the map with Charlotte and pick them up.
Yeah.
So you have to slug with twins. That's why a lot of people don't play them because it is boring. Because you down with Victor. That's why you down one with Victor, then you go down another one with Victor, and then you jump on another one.
Hmm.
Like to me, probably a lot of people probably put an A. I'll say B tier. Like for me,
I agree.
I'll say B
I
tier.
agree. Yeah. And again, she's had some improvements. And like even one of the recent PTBs, like she was classed as S tier. It was
Yeah, I
ridiculous
know. Yeah, they
how
went over.
strong she
Yeah,
was.
they overtuned that so much.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But like a lot of people don't realize that Victor can, if someone's in a locker,
Yeah.
Victor can trap him in a locker for a period of
Hmm.
time. It's not a long period of time, but normally is enough. But again, it's the when you play as twins, if you down someone across the map with Victor, it's the whole. Oh, I'm gonna have to walk
Walk all the way
all the
across,
way.
and it's well if they've got like obviously if you've got your mate nearby, they can pick you up. You've got
Yeah,
unbreakable. Certain other perks like the boom perk.
exponential. Yeah,
And yeah, and like, there's a few other perks. Say someone's got like will make it still, so the last 90 seconds they can pick up really quick.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a few other perks. And yeah, say again if they got like Soul Guard, I know no one runs Soul Guard, but
yeah,
or anything like that, like for the people and the buckle up for people buckle up
yeah,
when that was the meta, the most probably the most annoying meta, but
yeah.
like yeah, I wouldn't say she's A tier personally. Like
No,
she's
no, I
just
agree.
because if you don't slug, you can't do nothing.
No,
Simple as.
no, I agree. Right, Trickster. Now, there's a lot of people that's on the fence with Trickster. They either don't mind him or they despise him.
Yeah,
It's never sort of in between. Um, when Trickster first came out, he was quite weak, in my opinion. He wasn't. If he pulled up his knives around a loop, you could easily loop it and try and avoid the knives. Obviously, depending on the loop itself. He did bring obviously interesting perks, and one of the perks sort of broke Nurse to a certain degree, which was Starstruck.
yeah, yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was yeah. Let's not speak
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
no. But even with the changes now with Trickster, don't get me wrong, he has improved. They've increased his sort of base speed. I think it's 115 now.
yeah.
So
115. Don't know why, but
yeah. Um, don't get me wrong, he has improved, but he's
and he don't
still
have no recall either now. Before we used to have
no
recall,
recall.
so it's no
Oh my
recall.
day. Yeah, like it does make it easier, especially for PC players. Obviously console is still relatively easy, just have to be more gentle on the old joystick. But he's still
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Like you don't see tricksters.
no.
Like you don't really see tricksters at all. Like because then again, he suffers a lot from some of these other loops, and he's sort of low bearing loop. Yeah, he excels at because. And obviously, if he builds main event art, he can literally down everyone.
Hmm.
Well, he's really good at camping basement. But overall, I wouldn't say he's great. Like I wouldn't say it's bad
Yeah.
either. Like I'd probably put him like low B, high C, like
Yeah.
around that area. Like I'd probably give him low B.
Yeah.
That's what I'd probably give Trickster. Because then again, he's still got like those good aspects of like again main event as well. It takes less knives now to injure people. He's 115.
Yeah.
But then again, he does suffer because he don't really have mat pressure. And yeah, any sort of like pallet gyms and anything like that, shacks, he sort of struggles. I know you can get your knives through the smaller gaps, but then again, that's like a bit hard to do. So yeah, I'll definitely give him like low B, I'd say.
Low B?
Yeah, I'll say low B.
Yeah. Oh god, I put him in A. I didn't mean to put him in A then. I was looking, I was like, right, my boy Nemi. A lot of people do enjoy going up against an Nemi.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he does have the additional 2 zombies. I don't know why, but every time when I play Nemi, it feels like my zombies come from Timu. But when we go up against an Nemi as Survivor,
they look assassins.
These are like...
they look assassins.
They are. But yeah, like Nemi has had quite an improvement. With the changes, especially with the length of the whip now.
Yeah.
Because even when you can see it marked, it still classes as like an extra foot as well.
Yeah.
But he is rather weak. Again, he's a little bit like Oni in the aspect of he's quite weak at the beginning.
Yeah, because in like tier 1 he can't break any pallets, but as soon as you come out of tier 1, he's like a whole different monster. And again, if he's in tier 3, if he didn't have to hit survivors 3 times, because obviously for the first whip doesn't injure, it only infects. If that wasn't the case, it'd be incredibly strong. Like it would be high A, like incredibly strong, especially the length of it now in tier 3. And he's increased movement speed as well while holding it out.
Yeah.
I'll say B. Like definitely B. Like higher B.
Yeah.
Because again, like the zombie aspect, I know sometimes they can literally be from Timu, stuck on a tree, something like that. But sometimes they do their part, get people off gens, cut off loops, get you free infect sometimes. And like the actual whip itself, once you're in tier 3, you're an animal. Like,
you are. It's a different breed.
Yeah, like pallets, goodbye. Like you drop a pallet, you're getting hit, you're always getting broke. He's an absolute animal. So
yeah, it's like it's like when you compare tier 1 Nemi to tier 3 Nemi.
Yeah,
it's like a Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, basically,
different. It's completely different.
Yeah, look, just the simple fact that he still got hit him 3 times in the first hit doesn't injure, keeps him in B for me. Like, if that injured, it'd definitely be A. He'd be one of the strongest killers in the game by far, and that's probably why they do it. Because, he's incredibly, especially in tier 3. Like, we've all gone against Nemi and played Nemi in tier 3, and it's really good. It feels really good.
Yeah. But apparently they're going to be adding a minigun and a rocket launcher as an Nemi. So,
S tier then.
Yes,
just snipe him with a rocket launcher on the gen.
Yeah, they're on top of Thompson House.
Yeah.
Stars. Right. Pinhead. The Xenobite. The Cenobite.
Yeah.
The box. You opened it. I came. He has. He's a little bit like Pig to a certain degree, where it can slow the game down with the chains.
Yep.
Again, the killer can obviously get rid of his power to a certain degree. Obviously, with the what's it called?
The cube.
Yeah,
I know it's got a name, but
yeah. So I've literally got it here, but unfortunately, it doesn't tell me the name. He's good on short loops and sometimes even good on longer loops.
Yeah. I mean, the actual power is really good.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever plays Pinhead, like, ever. Like, like at all. Because people mostly DC against him as soon as they see it. Because it obviously used to run Franklin's and you pick the box up. And obviously you used to count as them dropping the item, but you don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And like Hoarder was the only time you'd ever use Hoarder was on Pinhead, and it don't work anymore with the box.
Yeah.
And like, if the survivors are good enough, they keep rotating that box, so you never get a chain hunt at all. Like you would never get
Yeah.
one. Like your power's good in loops, especially the short ones. Pretty
Mhm.
good. And if you can get consistent chain hunts, he can be very oppressive.
Oh yeah.
But again, good survivors will rotate that box, and you'll never get a chain hunt. I've played games where I've never got a chain hunt at all.
Yeah.
And you can figure out the spawns of them. The good
You
Pinhead can figure out the spawns.
Yeah.
To the box.
Because I was going to say, because there's been a couple of games where, because it normally spawns from the furthest point of where you are at the time it spawns. So like Dead Dog Saloon is one of the easier maps to sort of pinpoint where it is, because the map is not exactly massive, and you can sort of guess where the box is going to be. And again, when you do eventually pick up the box, it does give you a lot of information because one, it triggers the hunt, so it's really oppressive. Two, it makes everyone scream so you can see where everyone is. And yeah, it becomes a nuisance for the survivors, and it slows the game down then of them getting the gens done. And also, if someone starts fiddling with the cube, you can TP to it, but it does obviously cancel out the.
Well, I don't know if it still works now. You used to be able to cancel it with the chain.
Yeah, you can cancel the Rubik's.
It's the chain hunt that can't do it now, is it? So I think,
the chain hunt
because the chain hunt used to be able to cancel it, but now it can't.
It used to, yeah. Because the second the individual starts fiddling with it, the chain hunt stops on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in the day, it used to still trigger on you, and that used to be a pain.
Yeah.
But again, you can see when someone is trying to obviously solve the cube, you do get to see where they are, and sometimes you can land a chain on them to stop it, and then you could down them, pick up the cube, and then cause the chain event. I would say he's strong, but he's not incredibly weak, but he's not incredibly strong. I would say he's mid to high B. I would say personally.
I don't know. Especially a lot of the changes with the perks and all this sort of stuff. And I'd probably say low B.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd say probably low B. Because then again, if your chain hunts are not going off and the survivors, because also they can pick the box up and use it as bait. Because you never pick a box up. Well, you never start solving it if he's in chase, because you ain't gonna drop a chase to go teleport halfway across the map. Someone is sitting in shack or like a cow tree or something like that. I wouldn't say he's as strong as say Deathslinger or Nemi. I would say probably B tier, but not high B tier. Probably low, I'd say.
Right, I'll stick him in low, and then hopefully I can maybe win you back later.
Because again, it's one you don't see, and
I do completely agree with your points. I'm just going based off my personal experience going up against a Pinhead and playing as him. I do find him quite oppressive, and he does. He can have semi decent map pressure, but again, it all depends on the map itself. Because if it is a massive map, then
and again, if there's files on top of the box, you're never gonna get your chain on ever
again. Yeah. Right. The artist. Arguably one of the killers that's brought out the strongest perks in the game.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, what have you got? You got Grim, Pain Res,
and Pentimento.
Penty, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the first killer to bring a perk where you can relight totems as well.
Yeah, Pentimento.
Artist, really great map pressure with her birds.
And she she completely shuts down loops. Completely shuts them down. Sometimes you've got no option but to run off, literally.
Yeah.
Then she just catches you and just downs you.
Yeah. And also you got the technique where you can double crow someone.
Yeah, double tap,
yeah. And again, I don't know if it's an add-on. I think it is. Where the birds sort of jump onto another survivor.
I
within
think that's
plot.
might
he?
be an add-on. I think like I've hardly
I
played
think so.
artist. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
know, but I've played against artists, and again, like she's so oppressive on loops. Like sometimes you got no choice but to run off. You're down either way, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely a very strong killer.
Oh yeah. Again, I think she's A.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily.
Yeah, definitely A tier. Like,
Yeah.
just the simple fact she can literally shut down pretty much nearly every loop, and most of the time you got no choice but to run off, and she just down you that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely A tier, 100%.
Yeah. And again, if you do miss your crows, but it comes close to the survivor, even if you're just trying to see if you can maybe get some form of information, you get killer instinct with the birds. You used to be able to burn them with the flashlight.
Yeah, you can't do that
which
anymore.
did make it. She was still strong, but it did make her just a little bit weaker. But now you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just made her stronger.
Oh yeah.
Right. Onryo, aka Sadako. Personally, Metal's it's not Metal's personal favorite killer of choice.
Oh, I hate this killer. It's the worst killer for me by far.
And again, when she first came out, she was weak.
Yeah, she was,
like,
yeah, she's a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
Then they majorly
then,
overtuned her, and she was like A tier, like majorly A tier.
Yeah. Like she does have really good map pressure. But now they've given her one of her strongest add-ons, base kit.
Yeah,
Where you have to stick a tape in a very specific TV.
Yeah.
And any sort of decent Onryo to really good Onryo will sort of work out which TV is yours.
Yeah, and like, and as well, before they sort of changed her, like she didn't even need to chase anyone to win a game.
Just do the condemn build.
Do the condemn, to literally go AFK and just condemn everyone and down everyone and just end the game. You didn't need to chase anyone. You just kept teleporting. And
that's all you have to do.
There was literally nothing you could do. But they've changed that now.
Yeah,
like,
thank God.
Again, she's still a good killer, still strong, good map pressure, still can condemn people. Bit like Pig, she's got a time waste, and like Pig as well. You have to go and do it.
Yeah,
you got no choice but to do it, and the stacks can stay permanent as well.
Yeah.
So like, I would probably say she's probably still A tier.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, only fell off your chair. Then ain't gonna lie. I was leaning right over, and I was like, ooh.
Oh, that's gonna get clipped.
Yeah, it's going on TikTok. That
one. Yeah, no, I agree. And with her power as well, when she's in Manifest, I think it's called, she acts a little bit like Spirit with the phasing in.
Yeah, and that's right. You can't stun her with pallets in that as well, so she can bait pallets as well because you can't stun her.
And now she has no collision, so she can just go through survivors.
Yeah.
Back when she first came out, there was still collision.
Yeah.
Like you still couldn't get pallet stunned. You would just be pushed back a little bit if a pallet came down. But now you can't even body block against an Onryo.
Yeah, I'll say she's A tier. Like,
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still giggling.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I've got like a little footrest, and as I was leaning over, it tipped over. And
oh, jeez. But yeah, where would you sort of put it? Like at this moment in time, with no add-ons, no perks, nothing. Because she can still condemn people, and again, like you said, it can be permanent stacks.
Yeah, and a strong as add-on come base kit as well. So, definitely I'd say stronger. I'd probably say stronger than Huntress. Like, probably mid A. I'd say
mid A, yeah.
Yeah, like mid-ish A.
I'll put it there for a minute.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Dredge, aka the Turkey, as I would call him. Really fun killer to go up against, and when he first came out, it was a bit of an issue, especially on darker maps, because you literally couldn't see anything.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything.
No. Really good against small loops, especially with the Revenant, being able to sort of fake out a pallet or push a survivor away from a loop, and has decent map pressure. But the big but is, again, it's map dependent with the locker
Oh yeah.
RNG.
Oh yeah.
That's where, for me, Dredge suffers the most, is
Yeah.
the locker RNG.
Yep.
Like Haddonfield, like the old Haddonfield especially, that was horrific.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's improvements now with the new Haddonfield map, because you do have some lockers sometimes in the center. But again, it just, he heavily relies on RNG.
Oh yeah. But yeah. But again, like, really good on loops. You can shut it down by putting his Revenant down. Again, depending on the RNG, the lockers, great map pressure, and you can run certain builds of him. Like Make Your Choice is one of the first few killers who can actually make Your Choice work.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, again, I'll say he's probably like B tier. I'm gonna put him A because the RNG factor.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, you can play around his power. You can bait it as well. In the Revenant, you can bait him teleporting and all sorts. And you can lock lockers. And obviously, if you know the trick, you've got two lockers next to each other. You lock one, not both, because he always teleports to the locked locker, not the one that's not. But
yeah,
what is unique about him, though, he can grab people out of lockers in his power.
he can.
Yeah,
He can. And even if they're locking the locker,
yeah, he can
mid
grab them.
animation, he still grabs them.
Because if he's teleporting, he'll automatically go to that one. Like you say, he's teleporting to the locker next to it, and you're going in that one, he'll automatically go to that one.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd say he's definitely B tier. Like,
yeah.
Like one
Like,
higher
again,
end.
he is good when it comes to like anti-looping and stuff like that. But again, the thing that really lets him down is the map RNG.
Yeah.
It's the locker RNG. It's awfully cruel to Dredge. Otherwise, yeah, I would say he's A tier. Really good anti-loop, really good map pressure. Again, he affects the survivors' brightness, which can easily make survivors bump into walls, and but yeah, it's just the map RNG. Wesker,
everybody's favorite.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
He's hands down the most popular killer in the game. Like, I took a 4-month break from DBD, come back to the game, and every second game had a Wesker.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love going against Weskers. Great fun killer to play and go against.
Mm-hmm.
Again, incredibly strong. Can run multiple builds with him because he's got a massive tear radius by default, 40 meters. And obviously, he's got another side thing with the infection of the Ouroboros.
Yeah.
It can make you a one shot, and you have to go and do the sprays. And there is limited sprays, but a bit like them with the injections, it's limited.
Yeah.
And he can play around a lot. He does struggle and a little bit on the smaller loops.
Yeah.
Because obviously power dashes to a certain thing all the time. But you can obviously do like hug techs with him, which I'm surprised they haven't removed yet. But I'll say he's quite a strong killer, definitely.
Oh no, I completely agree. A thing that came across my mind was because the infection with Wesker and Nemi, they're similar, but they're yet very different. Because with Wesker, you can use the first aid spray twice per cap.
Yeah.
With Nemi, you can only use it once, and then it's gone. Imagine if it was the other way around. If Wesker if the first aid sprays had one use, because I think I believe there's 5 or 6 on each map.
Yeah, and if Nemi's antivirus was, you could use it 2 times.
He would be weaker.
He'd be a lot weaker, like a hell of a lot weaker, because he needs his power, and you can't injure people if they're not infected with his whip. Well, Wesker, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. If you get fully infected, you just come one shot.
Yeah.
So, but you don't really let it get to that phase. It's just another time waste off your healing.
Yeah.
And again, Wesker's another great tunneler.
Yeah. He does, obviously, he did have that very minor nerf with the infection rate.
Yeah, that needed to happen because he was like one of the best tunnelers.
Yeah.
That needed to happen.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But yeah, I think as well with Wesker, out of all the killers that's been released, I think Wesker's received the most positive feedback.
Yeah, he's probably been the best. Like, because
Yeah,
again, he's still the most popular killer, like by far.
yeah,
Like, you go and play DVD now, you probably run into like 3 or 4 of them in a couple of
Mhm.
hours, maybe more. Like the other
yeah.
day when I was playing, I ran into like 2 or 3 P100 Weskers, like in one night, and again, that was really good. And one of my favorite things to do against Wesker is window. Like
When
window
they go through
Wesker
the
is so
window,
funny. Yeah, it's so good when you window one.
yeah, it is. It is satisfying, and
Mm.
most of the time as well. I would say about easily 90% of the time, when that happens, the Wesker will just slow turn.
Yeah, just look at you and it's like, yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, for me, easily, without a shadow of a doubt, don't have to hesitate. A tier.
yeah, definitely 18. Yeah.
Yeah. The Knight. So he does have decent map pressure because obviously with his guards, evidently there is a favorite guard at the moment.
Yeah, the Carnifex, yeah, because he breaks pallets like insta breaks them.
Yeah. Obviously they did sort of nerf him a little bit in regards to obviously back when he first released, when you had a guard sort of mark a survivor. If the knight chased with the guard on the same survivor,
You
the
can,
counter would just
yeah,
stay the same. It wouldn't go down any slower or go up or go down any faster. Now it goes down a hell of a lot quicker,
yeah,
which is a nice little
yeah, because
touch.
then it avoids the old double tap mechanic. Because again, no, quite impressive on any loop because you just put your power down and you just got to run away.
Yeah.
And you can double tap. Like, the guard can hit you, then he can hit you straight after.
Hmm.
So you can literally pretty much one shot.
Yeah.
But then again, like he's just one of those killers where he's like either like really good or just really bad. Like, he does struggle with connecting loops.
Hmm.
And again, you can, if you do loop well enough and go back to the banner, you can cut the hunt down and get like a speed
Yeah.
boost in that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But like the Carnifex is ridiculous how quick they can break pallets.
Hmm.
You just drop it, bang, you go straight through, and you're straight on top of them.
Yeah. And I can't remember what the other one's called as well, where
You got the
it has.
jailer and the assassin. I'm pretty sure it's the assassin because no
Yeah,
one
I think.
uses the jailer pretty much. Everyone
Yeah.
uses the assassin
Or the
and
Carnifex. Yeah.
all the Carnifex.
Because I must admit, like they have improved the sort of AI aspect
Mm.
of the guards. Because it used to be you'd run towards a window, didn't vault, just run and then
And also
cut out.
now you can pick what guard you want as well.
Yes.
Beforehand, they always come in like order. So
Yeah.
but now you can pick which one you want. Like, no, I've been thinking about like before we was like C tier. Like, would I dare put him in low B? Like, because again, he can nullify loops, kind of fetch breaks, pallets instantly. He can press a gen to even be in there.
Hmm.
You can
Yeah.
drop a guard on a gen, they break them really quick.
On a hook as well.
On hooks. You can chase multiple survivors at once, literally. You can put a guard on one, chase another one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll probably now, especially now you can literally pick the guard you want.
Low B.
I'll say low B. Like,
Yeah.
he's got more to his game than, say, like Pig and Wraith.
Yeah.
And I would say he's definitely like low B. Like, you could probably put him high C, but like I'd say he's like low B.
Yeah. I think having the ability as well to select the guard does
Yeah.
increase the strength of him.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, literally you start off, if you see the guard that you didn't want to play as, you would just instantly spawn him
Yeah.
in, slack him,
Yeah.
and then boom, you
Yeah.
got the one you want. Right. The most notorious
Oh,
killer.
chess merchant.
Yes, the old skull merchant. So with Skull Merchant, when she first came out, it was by far one of the most tedious gameplays known to man.
Yeah,
And I think
really
that's
bad.
when the DC stuff, that's when it started to ramp up an awful
Yeah,
lot.
because no one wanted to play against Skull Merchant. Be in the game for 45 minutes to an hour. No, like no one wanted to do that.
No. But again, it's not the player's fault. It's
Designed
to
to
a certain
kill him.
degree,
It's literally
but
the
it is the
design.
design.
Then they sort of reworked her, and then she became like the best stealth killer in the game.
Yeah. But now she's had I would obviously please correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's had one of the most devastating nerfs.
Yeah, like she's
in DBD history,
she's
easily.
dreadful now. She's so bad. Like she's definitely before she was like B tier quite easily.
Yeah.
Now I'd say she's D because the drones are pretty much useless now, and like
Yeah.
she was nowhere near us. Like because again she could lock down gens, and again you could be in a game for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But after all the nerfs which the Woodling did, she's definitely like D tier. She's quite bad now.
I think they've incredibly like the design of Skull Merchant is boring in my opinion. Very, very boring. And with these nerfs, it's just in my opinion, and I know there's probably, one, maybe two Skull Merchant mains out there, but I think they should just remove it from the game or maybe even just do a complete rework.
Yeah, just take the
like,
killer out and just put a new one in. Just put a new one in.
Yeah. Put bloody Frank Stone in.
Yeah, it'd be better.
But yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to stick her in D tier. She does have a very nice skin, though, I must admit. That can sort of motivate you, but unfortunately, in killer POV, you're first person, so you don't get to see.
If it's skin tier, it should be S tier. So,
right, Larry. Larry, in my opinion, is fairly strong.
Yeah,
he's not the strongest, but he is fairly strong.
Yeah, because again, he's got great map pressure with his cameras. Great in chase. Really good in chase. If he goes in his overdrive, drop a pallet, he can just go through it and break it. Vault really quick, extra little bit of lunge. Can have multiple builds. Again, he can have gem pressure as well. You can just put a camera there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is the gimmick where you can use your EMPs, but even they're not as oppressive as they used to be before. You just couldn't use his power at all.
Yeah, because now, because back then when you used the EMP, that camera was nullified for God knows how long.
I think it's 45 seconds. I think, pretty sure if I remember.
Yeah, and that's a long time. If you just stood there and counted to 45. It does take a little while. But now with Larry, all he has to do is shoot at his camera to remove it and then just put a new one there.
Yeah.
And that takes 2 seconds. But yeah, it does come down to the EMP and how well coordinated the survivors are. But yeah, map pressure, really good. Even around, sort of medium to small loops, he is very good.
Yeah, really good.
Easily.
Yeah, because then again, you can just go straight through parrots. And even you drop it, you can obviously, if you've been good, you can shoot it and spawn through on top of you and break the pallet. So, generally, I reckon he's like A tier, like low A.
Yeah, I would say low A, high B.
Yeah, I'd give him A. I'd definitely give him A tier. Again, really good chases, great map pressure. Nullifies a lot of loops just because you can just swing through the pallet. And he don't care about pallets or windows.
No.
Or even Shack. He can play around Shack immensely well. So
yeah. And again, but you need to know the sort of distance and the timings as well. Because if you shoot at a survivor literally a millisecond after they vaulted, you'll spawn either in or out of Shack. If you can sort of calculate the distance and know the distance, then you're laughing. Larry is incredibly strong.
Oh yeah.
So we got Xenomorph. Now we got to be careful about this because we do have a Xenomorph main in chat currently.
He's S tier then, sorry.
Yes. When Xenomorph came out, he was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
His tail is very strong. Works a little bit like Nemi to a certain degree, but has the capability of Nemi and Huntress sort of combined, being able to hit over windows, pallets, walls, stuff like that. to a very certain degree. Does have really good map pressure as well with the tunnels. And being able to see where, because sometimes you can see the survivors pathing as well, which is nice. I would say personally to me, mid to high B, maybe at most being really generous, low A.
Yeah, the one thing that really sort of is obviously is the turrets aspect, because again he's got another gimmick like Singularity. He's a gimmick, and if survivors set up properly with the turrets, they can get you every power in seconds, and you're just a basic M1 killer. But in power you're quite strong. They're like very strong. You can vault windows quicker, hit over loops, go in the tunnel. Great map pressure. Like I would say probably high B. No, I'd say he's definitely B tier. Like I wouldn't put him in A, just a simple fact of again the turrets. The turrets can be so oppressive for you if they're set up right. And you can just get knocked out your power really easily, but I'd definitely say high B. Like one of the better killers for sure, but not like on the level of like Wesker or Singularity, I reckon.
Yeah. And also he does have that unique aspect where being able to drag the tail down as well. Which again is a really strong aspect for Xeno.
I just think it's just the turret aspect. It's because it can knock out your power so quick. And like, say you go in a loop and there's two of them set up, and they're set up right.
Yeah.
You try and destroy one, you're out your power.
Yeah. Like you can get your power really quickly back in the tunnel, but then you're not going to leave chase just to do that.
Yeah.
Because you'll just end up wasting time, and that's going to cost you the game.
Yeah.
Right. Chucky,
I'll say he's A2. Like still, I know he's still got like a little nerfed and a little bit in there, but he's still a really good killer. Like, I'll definitely say he's still A2. Like, to be fair though, since I come back playing DBD, before it was less Chuckies now, but he's still a good killer. I know he's adds like obviously you can't really flick repower anymore, and they sort of nerfed the scamper a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I still reckon he's got great map pressure because he goes in stealth, and like, he's got obviously the footsteps aspect. And again, he's got the advantage. Sometimes you can't see him over a loop because obviously he's quite small, and he has that mind game effect where you can't really see him, and especially around Shack and that, you don't know what way he's going because again you can't see him. So like, I'll probably put him like low A.
Yeah.
Like low A. Before he was like high A, like borderline in the S tier. Like he's really good.
Yeah, not easily. Would you say he's higher than Larry? Because I think the main advantage that Larry may have over Chucky is map pressure.
I'd say they're both around about the same. Like either or. Yeah. Like that you can put them either way, I'd say.
Okay. But yeah, when Chucky first came out, he was a nuisance, and he still sort of is. It was practically every game, maybe every other game.
Yeah, it was just Chucky. And again, he was very high A, like borderline S tier at one point. But now after obviously a few nerfs, and again you don't really see him much now. I'll still reckon he's still A tier. Like he's still a fairly good killer, still better than most of the B tiers.
And he can catch survivors off guards as well because he does become undetectable when he's going through his slice and dice.
Yeah, exactly. And again,
and you can chain windows.
yeah, you can.
Yeah. Right. Unknown. Now, I think, now personally for me, when I play Unknown, I really do enjoy playing as Unknown. I think he does have a lot of versatility. And like obviously with his power, you can hit through walls. Still quite a few people are unaware of that. But obviously we're basing our tier list off no perks, no add-ons, and survivors actually being half decent. So Unknown has really good map pressure, but it can be easily taken away from him. Easily. You
Yeah,
do have the aspect of being able to control where the hallucination, where you can TP to
yeah,
them.
you can. Yeah,
You can control where they sort of spawn. Um, and again, you do have the aspect of being able to do aerial shots.
yeah, and hit through walls as well. You can hit through
Yeah,
walls.
and ricochet as well.
Yep.
Not many killers can do that,
Mm-hmm.
especially not without add-ons anyway. And again, he does have decent, I would say, small to mid loops.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely play around a lot of them.
Yeah,
Especially if you set up your illusions and you can TP because obviously his TP is like instant.
it is. There is that slight drawback. As soon as you TP, you are slowed down. I think
Yeah.
for like a second,
Yeah,
if that.
but even it don't make them that much of a difference.
No, not at all. But I do find that people find they. I'm trying to think of the word, but I think they don't appreciate Unknown as much as he should, as much as he deserves. Because for me, Unknown is a fairly strong killer. He's not
Yeah.
the strongest, but he's certainly not. I wouldn't even say he's mid. I would say he's above average.
Yeah. Again, I agree. Get great map pressure, good round loops, hit through walls. Works with multiple builds as well. You got multiple build varieties. And yeah, like, I probably would say you probably could put him in A tier. I reckon.
Yeah,
Like
I
definitely
would.
A.
Yeah, I would probably say mid to low. Well,
Yeah.
when I say
Yeah.
mid. Yeah, mid to low.
Yeah. Like mid to low A. Because you look at the B tier list, he's a lot better than most of the ones in B. Like
Yeah.
a lot better. So I'd definitely put him like low, mid, A.
Yeah. Right. Vecna, aka Thanos, that's never had a Tesco meal deal in his life.
Because it's not £3 anymore, so.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. I ain't paying for those prices. Right. Quite a rather unique killer when he came out. He had, I think he was the first killer to have multiple sort of aspects of his power, like multiple abilities. And then obviously they introduced the rolling of the dice of the chest. I'm not a massive fan of Vecna, I must admit.
Well, I will say something. I've never actually ever played Vecna.
Have you not?
No, not once. I've gone against him loads of times, like
Yeah.
loads, but I've never actually played Vecna.
The thing that I always find funny is with the items in the chest, it counts as Vecna.
Yeah.
So one of the most favorited add-ons, without having like the rarest ones, is the one I can never remember what it's called. It's the one where Vecna is able to either pull a pallet up or hold it up.
Yeah.
And the survivor gets that endurance effect.
Yeah.
Sorry, the haste effect. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it counters him completely. As long as you hug the wall tight, you've got enough time to come back onto that pallet and just drop it or even stun him.
Yeah, it probably comes down to the actual like timing of the hand itself. Like you have to be like spot on with Vecna to get that. Like again, he's got good map pressure because he's got the old what I like to call it rocket up the arse.
Yeah,
and just flying across the map. And again, he's got the sphere to locate people, and he's got to see that wait, the skulls and that.
Yeah,
he's got a good tweak kit. He's got a lot to his kit.
He does, but I find him quite underwhelming though.
Like that's what I've been thinking. Like probably high B, I reckon.
Do you think?
Yeah, I reckon because he has got a lot to his kit, and he's still like a fairly decent killer. End of the day, like you don't really see him now, but
no,
I'll still like he's got more to. If you look at C tier, we've only got 2 in there at the moment.
Yeah,
he's better than them, and most of B is probably better. Like he's got more to his kit. I reckon high B effect now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him in A because but
I wouldn't. I wouldn't put him in A.
I'd say he's better than Twins, just because you don't have to move across the map to pick someone up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I do find it funny because obviously, like you said, he does have a lot of kit to his power, and obviously with this sphere, it doesn't just tell you where survivors are; it also cancels out the items that they've collected from the chest, so you can't use the abilities, which is a nice touch. And again, survivors don't know about that. But yeah, I do find him personally, anyway, quite underwhelming. He does have decent map pressure, though. I'll give him that. But any sort of half to full competent survivor knows how to dodge the skulls, knows how to sort of outplay the pallet being held up and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously we'll revisit everything anyway. Dracula. Again, quite similar to Vecna in regards to versatility with his power. When the dog, obviously everyone loves the dog because you get to pet the dog, in some sense. The dog was very underwhelming, very, very underwhelming.
I mean, when it first come out, you could do like all sort of hug text with it and that, and they did nerf the dog. But the main thing with Vecna is the bat.
The bat, 100%.
Like, if you can get good with the bat, similar to Spirit, you can become quite oppressive with it. And it's where he's got the flame pillars.
Yeah,
it sort of works. Look like Nemi, sort of. As well with the flame pillars, and again you can hit multiple survivors with it.
Yeah.
Again, he's got good map pressure by being the bat. Like the wolf is probably not as good as it used to be now. Still can use it.
Yeah.
But like if you can master like the bat and the pillars, I'll say he's a solid killer, definitely. Like,
100%. And it's a unique thing as well that a lot of killer mains are not aware. So, obviously, the way that his power works is very similar to Nemi in regards to the line, but Nemi can drag his whip.
Yeah.
With Dracula, you cannot drag it. As soon as you press that button, that's where it's going. So a survivor can dodge it. But again, great versatility. The bat is very strong if used correctly. Honestly, I would probably put him either high B or low A.
I would put him high B, like very high B, like borderline A.
Yeah.
So, because again, it takes a lot of skill to be good with the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dog is pretty much, it ain't great. Not as what it used to be. We used to be able to like do like a little bit of hug tech with it.
Yeah.
And like, again, what you said with the pillars, where you shoot it, where it goes. It's not like Nemi where you can drag it. So yeah, I'll definitely probably put him like the top of B, basically.
Yeah. And then the final one, the most recent killer, Houndmaster. Now, personally, she is extremely underwhelming. The power barely works, and when it does, it's still very finicky. The skill ceiling is quite high just because of the inconsistency of the dog. Without any add-ons or perks, she's decent on a 1v1 on a small loop, maybe at a push medium, but I still find her quite underwhelming, really.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I've only gone against her once because I only see one, and even that was like, it wouldn't look great. Like, you probably put D tier, I reckon.
I would say high D, low C. Being really generous there, but the only strong-ish aspect is that with the dog doesn't instantly down you. Injure you when it does have a hold. But if you vault in a window, it does. It does damage you. I don't understand why there's a difference, but there is. But the dog is very easily dodgeable.
Yeah.
Crimson in chat just said, E tier or we riot.
I would probably put I'll put a D. Yeah, D tier.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Right. So let's just go back to the list. So
should we start with S tier because it's the easiest one?
Yeah. Might as well. Nurse number 1.
Yep.
Blight number 2,
Yeah.
Billy number 3.
Yeah.
Lovely. There we go. Obviously, you might as well just play nurse.
Basically,
that's
yeah.
the,
Yeah.
that's the killer list.
Just play this, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. A. Right. I haven't put these any in sort of specific orders.
I've been thinking about this as we've been going through because I've been looking at the list,
Mm.
and for number 4, I would say either artist,
Mm-hmm.
because again she's so good at loops. Like against Shaq, any loop she's just so good at. Plague, because this is how impressive she is.
Yeah.
Or Spirit, I'd say, would be
Yeah.
number 4. Like one of those 3. Now I think about it. Oh, this is another one.
What do you think is number 1 for A?
Number 1 for A. We'll look for the list. It rather
got-
be.
Because we've got Huntress, Spirit, Plague, Artist, Onryo, Oni, Pyramid Head, Wesker, Larry, Chucky, or Unknown.
I would say, honestly, I'd probably give it an artist.
Do you think?
Yeah, cause again, like, but you could give it the Spirit as well. Like,
Or you
Is
could
it-
give it a Plague.
you could give it the Plague as well. Like, honestly,
You
like,
really could.
but like,
Yeah.
artist, she just shuts down loops. Like, you don't need a mind game or anything. You just put your put your birds down, and you just shut
I think
down
it
any
would be
loop.
different if you were able to burn the birds.
Yeah, I agree. Because now you can't, because there is no counterplay really, apart from run away.
No. Yeah.
Like, you run away from the loop, and then she chases it down to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she can double tap you, and again, she can keep you off gens with her abilities and with certain perks.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no downside to artists, really, that I can think of. Like, she's good at everything, really.
Yeah.
Because like Spirit,
mm.
because one thing artists, she ain't 110. Oh, she's 115.
She is. Yeah, she is rather quick.
Yeah, so like Spirit with no power is 110. She's useless. Like, but then in her power, she's incredibly strong.
Yeah.
So I would, if you can disagree for one, I would give number 4 to artist.
Number 4, number 1.
Or number 1 of A. Yeah, number 1 of A, I would
Yeah.
give to artist.
Okay. Personally, I agree and I disagree. For me, number 1A would be, for me personally, Plague.
That's the thing, though. You can deny her power. Artists, you can't.
You can with artists to a certain degree if you're infected by the crows. You can jump in and out of lockers, but again, you're giving information to
You're giving information again. It's like if you're doing it mid chase, you're slowing yourself down.
Yeah.
You're literally slowing yourself down. So like,
Oh, just accidentally clicked on. The
and to
inside
say that
button.
running Iron Maiden, you're just helping them if you're in chase.
Yeah.
I know you can do it from a distance, but she ain't. One, she's only doing it for information, or 2 to knock you off the gen. Because she's got like Grim Embrace or like Dead Man's or something like that. Knock
Yeah.
you off the gen.
I must admit though, when I played Spirit, I think it was yesterday's stream.
Mm.
Going from the phase to then being like sort of hit but with a brick wall with a 110.
Mm.
The difference when it used to be 110 to 115. Jesus.
Yeah. That's what sort of stops Spirit being S tier, is that like outside your power, you're useless.
Mm-hmm.
But in power, you're really, really strong. Like really strong.
Yeah.
So like I would give number 1 A to artists because there's no really any downside of playing artists really.
Mm-hmm.
And she synergizes with a lot of perks.
She does. Number 2.
You could.
I think there's an argument for 2 in regards to Plague or Spirit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Plague or Spirit. And because again, Plague very oppressive, like very impressive. Just in base power alone, like she can just nullify so many builds and like med kits. Like no other killer can really nullify med kits really.
Yeah.
Like I know people don't heal against Legion, but you still can. You can still heal. With Plague, you physically can't heal.
Yeah.
So I would give it Plague, then Spirit.
Plague, then Spirit. There we go.
Then,
would you say maybe 4 personally? I would probably say Wesker. I would say.
I was saying Oni.
Yeah. I think for me, the reason why, because I was thinking of Oni, but instantly I just think of the beginning game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree actually, yeah, because Wesker's got no really downfall.
No.
Like at all, really. He's got no downfall. Again, the only thing he struggles with is smaller loops, basically.
Yeah.
So
Wesker for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. Would you say then Oni?
Yeah, I'll say Oni. Again, he's one of the biggest snowball killers. If he gets going,
yeah,
it's like it's pretty much over.
Mm-hmm.
And if they even if they sort of don't play fair, like a little bit, you got no chance.
Yeah, no, and like you said, he does technically get stronger throughout the game because there's going to be blood orbs scattered
everywhere,
and all the pallets, and the pallets are going to be gone. So,
and like, towards the end of the game, his power is like everywhere. So
yeah, it literally is. Right, so the number 6 spot.
I was thinking either Onryo or Unknown.
If it was up to me, I'd pick Unknown because I don't like Onryo. But
generally, I hate Onryo with a passion. I actually despise that killer. But you can't deny like the simple fact how strong she actually is. Even like I don't know why they done it. Rather than permanent stacks.
Yeah,
a best add-on base kit. Like still can condemn like anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's so oppressive. Where like Unknown, he ain't as oppressive. Like
yeah, no, I agree
because you can take his power away by just looking at him. So
yeah.
So like overall, if you compare the two, I'd say Onryo is probably better.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And then would you say Unknown?
Yeah.
Would you say Unknown's got better map pressure than Larry?
Yes.
Do you think?
I
agree and disagree, only for the fact because with Unknown, his copycats, if you want to call them that, if they're gone, they're gone. You have to wait for it to come up and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but then you can like choose where to put them as well.
Yeah,
where like the cameras stick out like a sore thumb.
They do. The cameras stick out like a sore thumb, but you can replace them if they get
and
EMP.
You can hide behind like gens and that.
You can, and that's where I'm a bit.
Yeah, and with Unknown, if you're smart enough, you can put them in positions where you know you can teleport to, and they won't get read that scene. So yeah I'd say like Unknown. Then
So we got Huntress, Pyramid Head, Larry, and Chucky.
I would go then Larry. Probably then Chucky, Pyramid, and Huntress.
Okay, you're gonna do Huntress dirty like that, are you, mate?
Don't get me wrong, she's a fantastic killer, brilliant killer,
sure. but compared to these two,
if you compare to like the actual list, like like that, they're just better killers. Because then again, Huntress is so mechanical. Like you can so easily lose a game of Huntress.
And sometimes all it takes is that one hatchet to cost the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. B tier. Right. So we've got Dracula, Xeno, Hag, Nemi, Dredge, Doc, Bubba, Freddy, Clown, Demo, Pinhead, Deathslinger, Vecna, Twinge, Trickster, and Knight. So who's gonna take the number 1 spot for B?
I would say Dracula. Definitely Dracula. Then
I would probably say Hag. I would say either Hag or Xenomorph.
I'd say Xeno.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I know you can divide his power, but then again, you can get in the tunnels and you can over things, and like you can just reset your power by going into the actual tunnel cell. And it comes down to survival again. If they don't actually place the turrets, you just have a free game. It's going around. Then I'd probably say Nemi with the recent third, yeah.
Three.
For definitely with the buffs and that, and like tier 3 Nemi is just like chef's kiss. Like,
it is.
It's like chef's kiss. It's so good.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be like that release? I don't know. And especially with some of these add-ons been buffed now, especially like Liquor Tongue.
But would you say he's got map pressure though?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I'm only saying this because I know deep down, Xeno and me used to be also a Hag main, and I know he's gonna berate me later.
The only thing with Hag though, like you can just wipe away her power.
Yeah.
And again, you can crouch through it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sort of like predict where she's going to put her traps, and if you're like semi like clued up, you're going to go there for your teammate and just wipe them away.
Yeah.
My headset need to be charged. So like, I'd put Nemi, then Vecna.
Do you think?
Yeah, because I was thinking because you got Death Slinger, but then again, like overall, like Vecna's got more to his kit, better map pressure. You could probably do that. So yeah, I reckon. Because then you look at the rest of the actual list, like Slinger, Clown, Freddy, Bubba. They don't have much to their kit as Vecna himself.
That's true.
And again, he's got other aspects as well. If like four, he's literally got 4 powers in one. So
yeah. Number 5.
Oh,
I would say this is like the average, maybe slightly better than average.
Yeah, I'd say Dredge, probably.
Yeah.
Because obviously he got buffs with his teleport speed and all that. And again, the only thing that lets him down is the RNG of the lockers, and that's pretty much it. Really, if it went for the lockers, he'd probably be an A tier. Like, especially with the Nightfall as well, so oppressive.
Yeah.
Even to experience survivors is oppressive because you can't see where you're going. So,
yeah.
Could you even put Dredge above Vecna?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, I reckon you could actually. I think the only thing that lets Dredge down is the RNG.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that is the main issue with his power is the RNG, the locker RNG anyway. Right, so I would say then after Vecna, I would probably put Demo.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon.
Yeah.
Demo. Then you probably could put Hag there, then Slinger, I reckon.
Then Slinger, yeah.
Yeah, you can disagree if you want, but like, again, Hag, you can nullify her power. Again, she's just like an average, like run-of-the-mill killer that can either do really well or really bad.
With Slinger, like, don't get me wrong, he's all right. Personally, I think Doc is better than Slinger when it comes to loops. Because he can affect gens, he can affect hooks, he can affect loops, including windows, healing. I think he has more versatility with his power, his base power, compared to Slinger.
Yeah, I agree actually. Now thinking about it. Yeah. You can probably put Doc there. You can probably put Doc above Hag actually.
Yeah.
And probably above Demo, I reckon.
Because again, obviously, with his power as well, with the hallucinations, you can see where
Yeah.
survivors are.
Yeah,
Again, I don't know if that's an add-on or not.
no, I think that's base. But you could
Yeah.
probably put Doc above Demo. Can have like Demo, Hag, Slinger. Then Freddy.
Yeah.
Then Freddy.
God, he's gone from D tier to bloody.
I mean, the
Like,
changes are actually good. Like,
yeah,
they're
I
actually
like
good.
him.
They're better than what they were. Like, much better. Then I would say Clown. Then Bubba.
Then Booba.
Then, oh, I've got it. And now I've got Twins, Trickster, Pinhead, Knight.
I would probably say Trickster's low B.
Yeah, I'd
personally.
say, I'd say he's better than Pinhead. Just
He's better than Pinhead, yeah.
Yeah, because again, he can just main event down everyone, and like he don't have like a side gimmick to rely on as well. And like his power damages straight off.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you chain, you miss, you get punished.
Oh yeah. And I personally think Knight is better than Twins.
Oh, so Twins lower then.
Yeah, I would say Twins is lower purely for the fact that again the Knight has more versatility. He has the ability now to choose which guard he wants.
Yeah,
The guards are quite strong, in fairness.
yeah, they are.
And you can attack two survivors at literally the same time.
So I reckon probably Trickster, Knight, Pinhead, Twins.
So it would be Bubba, then Trickster, was it?
Yeah, Knight, Pinhead, then Twins. Because Twins ain't great. They're not really, really ain't great at all.
No. I'm quite surprised we've only got 2 in C.
Yeah, most of the average killers now are fairly decent. Like, they are fairly decent. You could maybe argue put Bubba at C, but I don't see it at all. Like, I still reckon Bubba's fairly average, fairly good. Can down a whole team. Yeah. And especially with these new changes as well. Because then again, like Wraith ain't been touched for years. Pig gets like very minor adjustments that really ain't good. Like, for me, C tier it goes Pig and Wraith. Then
would you say Pig's better than Wraith then?
Yeah. She just like because Wraith's very add-on dependent. Like, very add-on dependent. And if you don't like body block pallets and windows, Wraith's just quite hard. But then again, he's got good back pressure.
Yeah. Right, the worst of the worst. For me, the lowest D. It's between 3. Ooh, I don't know, because we're considering add-on-less and perkless.
The worst one is Trapper, like by far. Like,
yeah.
Like, the matter of fact, you got to walk across the map to even use your powers, just abysmal. Like, you'd probably always be the worst killer.
Yeah.
And then I'd say Myers.
Skull.
Oh, I had Skull, then Ghosty, Houndmaster, then Legion.
Ghosty, so Houndmaster's better than Ghost, yeah?
Yeah, she's got more to her kit, even though she's not great, but she's still got more.
Yeah, to her kit. Legion.
Yeah. Again, Legion ain't great, but then again, it can be oppressive, can keep you mending for like 20 years. And that the other DC is probably just better.
Yeah, I agree. Because for me, because if it wasn't due to like if you weren't allowed to use the best add-ons but just like half decent, I probably would have switched Myers and Skull Merchant the other way around.
Oh yeah, if you could use these best add-ons, like Myers would be top D, or even C tier. Like he'd be C tier probably with his best add-ons. And Wraith would be in B tier.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Right, so that's the killer tier list. Now, this next map, this next part, we should really fly through it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Map tier list. Right, okie dokie. So the first one now, my eyesight is not helping me at the moment. It looks
That's
like
Cold Tower.
Cold Tower. Yeah, I thought so.
And this is based on the Killer,
yeah,
the maps for Killer, because yeah, I've played more Killer than Survivor.
yeah. And to be honest, if whatever we say is the best for Killer and the worst for Survivor,
yeah, it's this
it's gonna
flip
be-
round.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
flip it round. So
yeah, if you're curious, what's the best Survivor map?
mm.
Right, Cold Tower.
Cold Tower for Killer is hit and miss
It is
because
hit and
you can get some disgusting loops in that map, but then it can go heavily in the Killer's favor as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's bang down the middle. Like I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's great.
Yeah, for me, it mainly like one of the important aspects is the RNG window.
Yeah.
Because if they have the God window, then again, it can, differ.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll put in B. I'll put
Yeah.
B tier. Like I'll say it's straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Like it ain't the worst, ain't the best.
I agree. Is it Grown House?
Grown in Storehouse next.
Yeah. The map it's fairly awkwardly shaped. It's big.
I'll say the only problem is that main building, and that's only for certain killers.
Yeah.
Like it ain't the strongest main building by far. There's
No.
much stronger main buildings. Again, I'll say it's probably more killer sided. Like I'll say it's better for killer. Like
Yeah.
really, because again you've got that main building, but you've only got that main window and that little side one. And you've got that one little powder. Like, but if you're playing any half decent, like you can deal with it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not a massive map.
It's just
I know
it's
got
awkwardly shaped.
It's awkward.
Because you've got like that thin stretch where the gen is like right at the back.
Yeah, and most of the map as well is quite open, like especially loop wise. Only like the major loops are on like the edges.
Yeah.
Like on the edges of the map, and again, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's great either.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably.
Would you say at the moment, let's say high B?
Yeah, you could probably put B tier. Like, I wouldn't say it's like again that main building ain't the best for survivors, and most killers can deal with it.
Yeah.
So,
right. Then we've got. I can never remember the name of this one.
Ironworks of Misery.
Isn't it? This is Trapper's main map, if I'm stand corrected. Main can be hit and miss. It's more of a chore if they run upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, you don't really chase main really at all, unless you like certain killers. But like, yeah, you just don't really ever go to the top. It's a waste of time.
Yeah,
you're better off just going pressure and gens and that. And again, it can be quite annoying for killer. I find this map, especially some of the loops that can spawn.
There's a lot of filler loops.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Again, RNG based, but there's a lot of four walls. There's a lot of TNL. There's a lot of like small to medium pallets. There is a lot of resources for the survivor on this map.
Yeah, I reckon like C tier. C for this one.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Right, this is the Skull Merchant variation.
Yeah, Shelter Woods. I mean, this is what Shelter Woods is now.
Yeah.
Before, Shelter Woods, the old Shelter Woods was killer. It was
100%.
100% killer because that was like you had like 4 pallets in the whole map.
Yeah.
Bring it back, but it was bring it back. Like it was definitely S tier.
Yeah.
But like now, like that main could be a little bit tricky because
there's 2 really decent pallets there.
Yeah.
Like one is obviously evidently better than the other.
Yeah, and you got the upstairs of that window as well. If that's played right, and obviously you got 2 pallets downstairs, and you obviously got the other window, and you got another window.
Yeah, because you got 2 windows down. You got the 2 pallets, and you got the 2 windows up as well.
Yeah, and again, if you're playing like Huntress, is a terrible map because there's so many trees.
Yeah.
Also rocks. There's loads of rock loops, and it just takes ages.
And the map's fairly,
big. It's very, very decent size. Like I wouldn't say now it's a good killer map at all. Like before, it was S tier, like miles S tier. I would probably put it in C again, like because then again it can be rather tricky, that map.
No, completely agree. Right, we've got I was
Suffocation pit. Yeah, suffocation pit.
I always call it the coal mines.
Like this map, I'm saying that was D tier because that middle part, most killers is unplayable. Like you can chain it so well together.
Yeah.
And like again, is a free gen map. Like if you want to win on the map, go and hold a free gen. Like simple as just go and hold a free gen. But that's boring. No one wants to do that. The map's fairly sized as well, and it's rather spread the gens out.
Yeah.
Like instead of like trying to do one on one side, they just do this. Again, you got that main building, fairly decent. Ain't the best. Got a good window. You have like a couple, like 2 or 3 filler pallets on the outside of it. Like the middle part is just disgusting. Like if you're playing M1 killer, or like Huntress or anything, it's disgusting. And then you got Shack on the other side, full of pallets. For me, I'll put it D tier. It's a terrible killer map.
Like for me as well, with because the map is like the shape of a capital I, because you got it spreads out, becomes thin, spreads out again, and that middle section is honestly
disgusting.
It's the bane of my life.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And similar to the next one as well.
Azeroths. Same layout. Yeah, but less disgusting. Like less disgusting.
Yeah. If you can hold, because normally because they used to say if you hold the middle gen, you've practically won. They have sort of changed the gen RNG aspect of it. Not by much, but a little bit. But you can hold a fairly decent 3 gen on that map. I personally, I would say either B or C for killer.
I'll give it B. Like it can be fairly good. Again, it's that T-bone shape. Like I'll give it B. Like it's better than Suffocation Pit. Suffocation Pit is a terrible map for killer. It's awful.
Yeah. No, I agree. Then we've got, I can never remember the name of this one either. I'm going to be useless with the names.
Yeah, so I've got a list here. So
there we go. Thank you, mate.
Blood Lodge.
Blood Lodge, that's the one. I don't mind this map personally when I play on it. I haven't had many bad experiences compared to some of the maps that's on here. But I do understand the frustration of it.
Yeah, to me, it's an awful map. It's it's awful.
And it is fairly like a decent sized map.
Yeah, it's massive.
I wouldn't call it. I don't think for me, like personally, I can't warrant it enough to be a D, but I would put it as a low C. Low to
I'll put it C. Yeah, but I'll definitely C. I agree with that.
Right, okay. Then we got Auto Haven. Wreckers. Look at that, see. Some of them are.
Yeah, this is Gas Haven, which I reckon again is another awful killer map. That main building can be dreadful. A lot of filler pallets. Yeah, disgusting loops. Fairly sized. I reckon put it in D. Like for me, I reckon it's quite a bad map for killer. Especially that main building as well. It can be a bit of a pain.
It's the open ass. It is really open, and it is actually half decent for Billy. But it is like for your typical, like let's say M1 killer. It's awful. Miserable map to go to play as. Right, and then I can't even make out what that one is. I know what the other one is. I can't even make out what that one is.
That is a Wreckers Yard, which I think is a fairly decent map for killer. Like,
yes.
I'll probably put that like 8 here. I reckon it's fairly decent for a killer. Yeah, like Wreckers Yard. It's one of the better ones anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, and then we've got. Let me stick on. Was it A tier? Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon 8 here. I reckon it's a solid map for killer.
Yeah. This map is again for me hit or miss. And what's the map called?
Wretched Shop.
Wretched Shop. Again, this could be a hit and miss. The main all depends on where the windows spawned. There is an
Yeah,
awful lot of filler loops though on this map.
yeah,
There is a
there is,
lot.
especially around that main building. You get like 2 or 3 pallets around there.
Yeah. And obviously we did that little when we had that little run with the buses and
Yeah,
even into Shack, and then in between those two there was the
yeah,
filler loop, and then past the
yeah,
past the buses you had the I think it was a T&L, and
yeah.
sometimes you can even have a pallet spawn depending on the loop itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would probably say personally mid to high C, maybe low B at most.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon high C.
Yeah.
Yeah, high C. And the next one is a fractured cowshed.
Yeah.
And there's only one place for this map.
A.
There's only one
No, I'm joking.
place.
D.
D tier. D
Yeah.
tier. Terrible map. Absolute awful map.
Yeah.
D tier. Simple as. Now the next one is Rancid
Rancid
Abattoir.
Yeah. Main is quite big. There's not a whole lot of sort of versatility for the survivors. You got one pallet and one window.
Mm.
You do have normally 2 like sort of protection pallets on the outside. They're not the safest pallets.
Yeah.
I think the map is overall
Yeah, like, I think generally it's not bad for killer at all. Like
Yeah.
Rancid Avatar, like it's one of the better cold wins by far. Like I would put it B tier probably.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
like high B because again it's not bad, but it is fairly big and usually cow tree is usually out of the way. In one of the other corners, on the right corner or the left corner. So.
Yeah.
And it's quite far away from Shack as well, so it's like, yeah, like definitely B tier.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next one is Rotten Fields.
Rotten Fields. I personally, I think this is killer sided.
Yeah,
it's
map. Yeah, and it's quite barren as well.
Yeah,
and all you got in the middle really is just Shack.
Mm-hmm. You got a couple of loops here and there, like more towards like the back of Shack. You do have the sort of combine harvester to play around and a couple of filler loops, but it is fairly open. The only thing that people struggle with is the actual corn itself. Sometimes they can literally block your vision, but it's a lot better than what it used to be, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely killer. Like,
yeah,
it's just literally nothing in the map. Like, you got like 5 pallets, and they're gone, and it's like nothing to do. So I'd put that high A.
Yeah.
Probably you could even argue S for it. Like, honestly.
Yeah,
argue
point. S
yeah.
Thompson House.
Thompson House. Now this, I'd say, is quite killer because towards the back of the house, where the house, you can literally have a 5 gen.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can literally have a 5 gen, and look, the main house is not the best, really. Because really, if you haven't got like balanced land, and it ain't that good, really. Because you drop down. And obviously, if you drop down around balance, you lose a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And again, you can hold like a 4-5 gen towards the back. So I'll say put that like A tier probably.
Yeah.
Like, because
the
again,
map is not overly big.
No, and like again, Shack's right out of the way.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah.
I agree. Next one. We've got
this one is Foreman Creek.
This is a strange one because main can be semi-strong. Obviously you got the window, but obviously it can be sort of nullified with the breakable door. Then you do normally have about 2, sometimes 3 little filler pallets surrounding main. And then you got quite a decent little hay bale loop, especially if you're going up against taller killers. You can clearly sort of anticipate where they're going to go, and it's quite easy to mind game their mind game. And also you got Shack and you got Cow Tree as well. Obviously Cow Tree is one of the stronger loops. But again, it all depends on the way you loop it. If a killer pushes you a certain direction where you can't take that fast fault on the window, it's a lot easier then to deal with. If they loop the other way around where they can obviously have pallet and have that fast fault on the loop on the window, then it's obviously a different ball game. Fairly decent size map as well. Maybe slightly on the bigger side. I don't really have any issues. It is fairly open, but there is a lot of foliage in regards to like barrels and stuff like that. I would probably put it B.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's not bad for killer, and it ain't terrible map. Like, especially that main building. Like, the main is like, it's nothing. It's probably one window. I know you got a couple of pallets outside, but you can quite deal with them quite easily. So
yeah, and you, especially for like range killers with hatchets, you can throw through the gaps.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, we've got. I believe this is Crotus Pen Asylum.
This is the Starboard.
Okay, I think that's the one after then, is it?
So the Starboard, I'm pretty sure, is the biggest map in the game, and that main building is disgusting, and this belongs in one place. D tier, because again, that main building played right is disgusting. Like it is you got some 2 strong windows, you got pallets downstairs, upstairs.
Yeah.
And again, played right, those windows are very strong, like very, very strong.
Yeah. No, you are.
And again, it's massive. Again, massive map, probably the biggest in the game. Loads and loads of like loops everywhere. Again, if you ain't a killer with good map pressure, it's a terrible map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it's D tier. It's terrible for killer.
This one then is Crotus Pen Asylum.
This is Father Campbell's Chapel.
Wait. Oh my god, my eyesight is not serving me at all.
Yeah. So, this is Father Campbell's Chapel. Now, this again is another disgusting map.
Oh, if you have the God window with the orange.
If you got that God window, that main building's disgusting. Like
it is vile.
Again, shack's really close to main as well. It's smaller and disturbed. The circus at the back ain't too bad. Got a couple pallets, and you got like the trailer bit.
Yeah, the window bit there. Yeah.
Again, disgusting map. Main building's disgusting. I again put it in D tier.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. The amount of times, I think literally only a handful of times have I actually spawned in as survivor, and I've had that God window. And you feel dirty playing it, but it also works.
It literally is disgusting because it takes forever to go around. And you just go back to the other side and just keep doing it, and you just be there forever.
Yeah. Right. This looks like Freddy's map, if I'm not mistaken.
This is Haddonfield.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Haddonfield.
Oh, yeah, I can see the sign now. Jeez, man. Right, I'm just going to shut up when it comes to the name of the maps.
Yeah, just let me do it. I've got the list, though.
Yeah, I'll just shut up. Yeah, Old Haddonfield was a major issue.
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. But now, the map's terrible, and it's, killer. Like, this is S tier for killer, I'll say.
100%.
The maps, the loops are terrible. Like, the builders are nowhere near as strong as they used to be. The map's tiny. Literally, it's tiny. You can see literally across the wall to wall. You can literally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like S tier killer map because it's so small and the buildings are nowhere near as strong as they used to be. Like nowhere near.
No.
It's really bad for survivors. Like really bad.
It is, and like old Haddonfield, that was a different ball game. It was the other way around.
Yeah, it was disgusting for killer. Yeah. The infinite fences and that. So.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Right, next one.
This is the Pale Rose. So again, can be a tricky map. The boat can be semi decent if you know how to play it. Obviously, you got the pier, you got shack, you can have the pog log, which can be quite, obviously quite good depending on the killer you play.
Yeah. And the map's fairly big as well.
Yeah, it's again trying to find hatch in this map, so it's terrible.
Oh yeah.
I would say it's not a great killer map. It's a decent survivor map. I'd say C tier.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree.
It can be. I'd say it's one of the better C tier ones, but
Would you say not? I wouldn't say top tier. Tier.
no,
I would say like,
not top C.
no. I would say like mid.
Yeah, about mid C.
Yeah. Okay.
Now this is Grin Pantry, and we all know that main building can be
A nightmare.
a disgusting thing. Then you got the other like tinier. And then you got the other one to the right, where you got a pallet up and down,
Yeah.
drop. And then you got shack, and then you got pair. Then you got like filler loops. Nothing really much in the middle.
No.
Again, that main building can be disgusting. It can be disgusting because you've got pallets down below. You've got a strong window. You've got those two windows that are not strong but can be playable.
Yeah.
And you've got pallets obviously on the outside as well.
Yeah.
Again, I don't reckon it's a great killer map.
No, I think it's awful.
Yeah, like I reckon maybe low C. Like,
Yeah. Low C,
like
high
low,
D.
yeah, like low C. I reckon on that
Yeah.
one.
I can say this
No.
one. Larry's.
Yes, this is Larry's.
This is, I would say, is the most controversial one because it does. It's not the best map. It is very survivor sided, but it does again all depend on the killer you play as.
Yeah, again, like stealth killers do well because stealth Wraith does well because it's line of sight. But then again, the map's massive. There's plenty of windows, plenty of pallets. I wouldn't say it's a great killer map at all.
No, I think it's far from it.
I would put it in D tier personally. I reckon it's terrible. I hate the map.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And as a Hunter's main, well, it was a Hunter's main. Terrible map. Terrible
it's
map.
It's awful.
Mhm.
Is that Mother's Dwelling?
Yes, that's Mother's Dwelling. Again, I think this is the biggest map in the game.
Yeah.
Main building can be a pain, especially that downstairs window. Massive map, not a great. Again, a lot of line of sight blockers with trees, rocks. Not a great map at all. I'd probably even put this in D tier personally.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree.
I think for killer, this is terrible.
Yeah. It's like a walking simulator half the time for that map because it's so easy to hide for Survivor.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's so many line blockers. Like with us being, Huntress mains, it's a horrible map, and it's Huntress's main map as well.
Yeah, and it's the worst one for her.
Yeah. Temple of Purgation.
Yours.
Look at that. I'm slowly getting there now. Fairly decent sized map. I think the majority of the map is taken up by main, right in the middle.
Yeah. Turn says it's not a bad killer map. I don't reckon.
No.
A lot of the outside loops you can hit over.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you got Shack, the main buildings. Again, it's not great. Like, he's got a few windows, but again, they got easy drop offs for the killer.
Yeah, there is a decent amount of foliage as well. But again, it's a square within a square.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I reckon it's not bad at all. And I'll give it a B.
Low B.
Yeah, low B.
Yeah. The infamous Badam.
Well, we all know where this is going.
That's going straight in D.
This going straight in D. There's no argument. It's the worst of the worst, nearly.
It really is. It's
all 5 of them are just bad, terrible maps. Now this is the game.
Yeah, Gideon Meat Plant. Survivor sided because of the sheer amount of pallets.
Pallets, and again, unless you're like nurse or doctor, you can't really. Again, the map's terrible.
Yeah.
So many pallets that you could just pre-drop for 20 years and still not go through all the pallets. Mm-hmm. Again, I'd say D tier for kill 'em.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Unless you're nurse, it's just a chore.
And then it's like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, and every 3 seconds you're bloody breaking a pallet. So
yeah, and like you got that 2 pallets where you got like the bathroom area, and you got basement, and you got those 2 pallets, and yeah, it's a terrible map for killer.
Yamaoka Estate.
Yeah, this is family residence.
Yeah.
Decent sized map. I'll say it's not bad for killer at all. Like the
And
only
it's quite
downside
open.
of it, yeah, the only downside of it is that it's big. But
Mm.
I'd probably put this in B.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd probably put it as low B just because due to the sheer size of the map.
Yeah,
But yeah, overall, it's not a bad map. It's fairly open. Um, it's just more, yeah, it's quite big and it's quite long as well.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not too bad.
Right, the next one is Sanctum of Raft. So the other one on Yamiyoko. And again, it's a similar, like T-bone shape, same as the Suffocation Pit, Azeroth, but a lot more forgiving. Like, I'll say it's quite good for killing this map because it's quite small. You can order free gen. The loops ain't like the best. I would probably, I reckon you put this in A.
Yeah.
Like,
Because for
I
me,
personally never really struggled in this map.
no. Because the map reminds me if Temple of Purgation and Azeroth had a baby, this is what it would look like. You got the main thing right in the middle, and then you got the stretched on each
Oh
side.
no.
How have you done?
We're having technical difficulties here. Oh no. Basically, I had this big ad pop up on the thing and it's like wiped it. No. Well, that's gone on my end.
Oh, the actual recording, is it?
No, the recording's there, just the actual tier list is gone.
Oh, right, okay.
Lovely, fantastic.
Right, let me see if I can. Let me see.
No.
Can you go into my chat quickly? I'll post a link there.
Oh, hold on. Do. No.
Because you can edit this part out anyway.
I can actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a pain.
Yeah, no, it's gone for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's completely gone. I've been about to use your recording for this one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mount Ormond.
Ormond, I would say, is a terrible map for killer.
It is. I don't think it's not like compared to some of the maps that's in D tier. I don't think it's as bad as that, but it's not far off. Especially with the changes, because main is fairly strong. There's an awful lot of filler loops. You got the really strong what do they call it? The snowplow.
Yeah.
That's fairly strong. And you got Shack as well. I would probably put this as low C.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Then this is the new Mount Ormond.
Yeah, this one's Ormond Lake Mine.
Visually, I quite like the map. I think it's quite nice.
I don't think it's that bad at all, really.
No. I haven't played enough of it because it hasn't, like, every time someone puts a Mount Ormond offering, it just gives us Mount Ormond. I would say, like, after playing a couple of games on it, I think it's fairly alright. I would probably stick her in B.
Yeah, I agree. Like, for a little bit I've played as well, I don't think it's that bad. The main ain't that good. Like, ain't as good as some of the other mains. And yeah, it's fairly decent size. Yeah, I'll say it's about average.
Yeah. Right. The infamous Hawkins.
Well, I know. I'll put D tier. It's a terrible map.
No, I agree. I hate it. When it went away after like a couple of months, I sort of forgot little snippets of it. I started to miss the map. When it came back, I realized how much I hated it. And it's still, it's the amount of loops and the RNG of the doors as well. When they can actually be fully shut off, that can literally tip the edge of how the game's gonna go.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I've been caught off because I think, right, if I cut off the survivor, lo and behold, there's a shut door. I'm like, great. Is that Dead Dog? It looks like Dead Dog.
Yeah, Dead Dog Saloon.
I would say, like, don't get me wrong, main is quite strong. It's fairly.
Yeah,
strong.
like For Survivor, yeah, like you don't really want to chase main really,
No.
but like the rest of the map's fairly good.
Yeah,
Like
I would say it's fairly good, and it's fairly good for killer. It's just
yeah,
main.
just main. Look, I'd probably put it A
Yeah,
tier for killer. Like
yeah.
it's pretty good.
Midwich, that looks like.
Yeah, it's Midwich next.
Yeah. Again, there's some decent palettes there, here and there.
Like, generally, I'd put Midwich S tier
Yeah.
because so many killers thrive on that map. Like even like
and it's
pigs,
small.
and it's small. Like so many killers just do so well on that map.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like a lot of the loops ain't like the best, and you can hit over them.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it says all when like Scratch Me and Morris can do well on the map.
Yeah.
Like, and like you got Wraith, Pick can do well. Freddy's, I mean,
Doc.
all of them. Like Doc,
Even
Nurse.
Trapper can even do well on it.
Yeah, Trapper can do well. So yeah, I'd say it's S tier for killer.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, so we got 2 RPDs, so I can only
Yeah, the
assume
first one is East.
East. I'll try and remember which one is East. Is that the one with the helicopter side?
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty sure.
I think the helicopter side is weaker than West Wing.
Generally, I think both of them are fairly decent for killer. Like generally, like
Both of them in general, yeah.
yeah,
But if we had to
Like-
nitpick, I would say West is stronger for Survivor than it
yeah,
is East.
yeah. Like old RPD was definitely Survivor because that library was.
That library is horrific.
But now I'd say, like, I'll say they're fairly decent for
B-
killer.
B,
Yeah, I'll say B for both. Like,
yeah.
yeah, because they're fairly decent for killer.
Yeah.
Oh no, the next one.
I know where I'm going to put this, but
Yeah, we should even put it on the list personally. Like, it was basically it's Area of Crows, and it's the worst map by far. It's terrible. Like
I hate
Even-
this map with a passion.
they reworked it and all made it worse.
Yeah.
So, like, disgusting map. Literally disgusting.
Yeah, Maine is massive. The map overall, it is fairly big. It's not one of the biggest, but the amount of filler loops is on that
Yeah,
map.
especially around Shack and all. You can get like 2, maybe 3 of them sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you just don't want to go there. And no, the map's disgusting.
And those annoying branches that just
Yeah.
appear.
And block hundreds hatchets because they got massive hitboxes. So
It's ridiculous. Garden of Joy.
D tier, terrible. Main build strong, terrible map.
Yeah.
Like generally a terrible map for killer. Great for survivor. Next one is Greenfield Square, like the unknown map.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fairly decent.
I
think
I agree.
I think it's very decent for killer.
Main-
I'd probably put a
Maine is semi-strong to a certain degree.
yeah,
You
but
got a
it's
strong
not.
build, but again, you can hit over it.
Yeah, and it's not like the best of all the mains
No.
out there. Like for killer, I know it's fairly big, but it's still very manageable.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say probably high B. Yeah, I'll say high B.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because the main chunk of the map is the middle. That's where
Yeah.
most of the action is.
Yeah.
You could let Maine and the one by the memorial statue those 2 gens, you could let them go. As long as you can concentrate on the middle, you should be alright. Borgo,
Yeah, Shattered Square.
there's a lot of
Before-
filler maps on this.
Before I'd say it was Survivor side. Now, to honest you, I think it favours Killer more personally in the map now. Yeah, like they've cut it down in size. It's not red anymore. Most of the loops ain't great at all. Really, you can get rid of a lot of the pallets. Like I reckon you can even put this in A tier. Like the main building's not great at all.
No.
Like for Killer, I'll say A tier.
Yeah.
Like generally. Before, I'll say it's probably like C tier, but now they changed it. Yeah, it's not as big, but most of the loops are not that good, really. And yeah, I'll say it's A tier for Killer.
No, I agree.
Now this is the next one is Forgotten Ruins, which is like the Fekla map.
Yeah.
Terrible map for Killer, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, up
It's-
and down.
it's weird because like the down sections, there's normally 3 gens down there.
Mm.
But the main issue is the dungeon aspect and the
Yeah.
portals.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's a pain in the backside,
yeah.
and you just don't want to go down there. The top is not that bad at all.
No, it's not. It's
going,
fairly open
going
as well.
down. Yeah, going down's the problem, and you got to keep going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So I'll probably put it C.
Just low C.
Yeah, low C. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now this one, Toby Landon.
I hate this map.
Yeah, I'll do it all. I think it's a terrible map. There's so much footage. It's so much everything. Everything's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can't see nothing. The
It's-
loops are fairly decent.
It's like a landfill.
Main's pretty good. Yeah, literally. Main's really good. You can connect to a shack quite easily.
Mhm.
Shack's fairly close. And yeah, it's just awful map for killer, I'd say.
Yeah.
Again, there's plants everywhere. Like, everywhere. There's plants.
Yeah.
And Main's fairly strong as well.
And there's really weird loops in there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, for killer, I'd say.
I would say high D.
Yeah, I agree. It's a terrible map. Especially for like range killers. It's awful.
And then last one, Nostromo.
Yeah, Nostromo Wreckage. Personally, for killer, I'll say it's fairly good because for Survivor it's awful because half the loops are half finished. Like you've got walls missing some of your loops, and it's like it's like all right, I have half a loop then.
Yeah, it's like the council came around.
Yeah,
The tax
run out of funds. I was like, I do. Main really ain't that good. You got cut pallets. You got the round table. You just run round.
Hmm.
Cut windows. Again, not some of the best in the game. And again, for Survivor, it's awful. It's a terrible map. Even for Killer ain't the greatest, but
Yeah.
I'd rather play Killer on the map than Survivor.
Oh,
If I had to
100%.
pick. Because most of the loops are quite bad. Like, really bad because they're half finished, looks like.
Yeah.
I would probably put it for Killer.
I would-
Low A.
Would you say?
Yeah, because, like, again, most of the loops are not that great.
Yeah.
They're terrible for Survivor. Like, I'd much rather play Killer on that map than Survivor.
Yeah.
Like, because half the loops are just nothing. You got a pallet and then you got like an open space and then a wall, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? And again, main's not great.
No, it's like with main, it's more of a time waster for the killer.
Yeah, and the shack of the map is awful. What's the point going there? You got one pallet on the
Oh,
outside.
that's that down ship, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the shack
yeah,
of the map.
That's horrific.
What's the
Survivor,
point? What's the point of going there? You got one pallet and you're just like, oh well, great. Then you're in a barren wasteland and you got a pallet there. So for killer, I'll say it's like 8 here because it's not much of survivors.
No, because like the main part of the map that personally I see the most action is right in the middle when you got the 3 lanes, I think it is, 3 or 4 lanes, and then you got the sides, the front and the main. It's just more time wasting, personally.
Yep.
For killer. Yeah, okay, and there we go. Ah, right. God, that's been a long
Yeah,
episode.
I didn't think it'd take this long.
No, either. But no, obviously I just want to say thank you ever so much if you have made it this far into the video. Obviously, thank you for the people that's currently watching the stream. Obviously, we do stream these podcasts over on my channel, Royal West TTV. But please drop us a sub on YouTube for the Skill Issue podcast. It is free. Obviously, like, comment, and share, and comment below if you agree or disagree. We're always up for a chat. Obviously, it's our opinion. Most of it, we understand people will obviously just agree, especially with like the S tier killers. But obviously, let us know your thoughts.
Especially with the A tier, it's very debatable who you can put third.
Yeah,
and like 4th and 5th, it's very debatable. But like,
I think A and B is like the most debatable section.
Yeah, like C and D is obviously but like it's definitely debatable because no matter who we ever put 4th, like, it's still a great killer. In the day, it's brilliant. So
yeah. But yes. Well, until then, take care, look after yourself, and we shall catch you all on the next one. Toodles.
Doodles.